Slaughter Zone, Mopi City is a complete hellscape. A massive, shadowy dragon wreathed in blue flames descends upon the spires, turning the skyline into a graveyard. People are running for their lives, screaming as the sky turns into a storm of lightning and fire. There's nowhere to hide when the city itself is being torn apart. An army of undead suddenly swarms the streets, cutting down anyone in their path. The survivors realize this isn't just a random attack. It's the work of one man, the solo player known as Bai Yi. Zichuan, the president of the Desolate Ghost Guild, can't believe what he's seeing through his telescope. He's shaking, realizing the gap between a top guild and the strongest player is an uncrossable ocean. The city gates are breached by waves of shadowy warriors. Mopi's was supposed to be a fortress, but against this legion, it's just a house of cards. Zichuan watches in pure terror as the dragon looms overhead. He knows that no single person should have this kind of power, yet Bai Yi is making it look easy. Bai Yi looks down at the chaos with a cold, singular red eye. He doesn't look like a hero saving a world. He looks like the monster that's come to end it. Perched on a throne of bone and shadow atop his dragon, he gives the order for his legion to advance. Every breath he takes seems to drain the life out of the surroundings. He thrusts his skull staff forward, and it instantly glows as he absorbs even more power. He isn't satisfied with mere destruction. He wants every shred of power this world has to offer. A tidal wave of blue-flamed skeletons charges forward, echoing his thoughts about the Myriad Worlds Game. This power was a gift, a second chance he wasn't about to waste. He perches on the dragon's back, looking down at the fallen city. To him, this is just another step in a journey where he can only afford to become stronger. He remembers where he started, locked at a single point of HP with only a year of life remaining. It was a death sentence that he somehow turned into a reign of power. Several months ago, things were very different on Blue Star. It was a sunny day, the kind of day where you'd never expect your life to be stolen from you. In a quiet room, a dainty hand pulls out each plug of the life support machines. A woman's voice whispers a cold farewell, telling her victim not to come looking for her in the afterlife. Su Mubai lies paralyzed in his hospital bed, forced to listen to his fiancée, Liu Ruyan, as she starts unplugging the machines keeping him alive. He's awake in his own mind, screaming for her to stop, but his body won't respond. He can only watch through half-closed eyes as his lifeline is cut. Liu Ruyan stands over him like a vulture. She's supposed to be the person he trusts most, but right now, she's just his executioner. She looks down with zero remorse, telling him he's basically a corpse already. In her eyes, she's just doing him a favor by ending it early. Su Mubai was the #1 player on the planet, a man sitting on trillions in wealth until a mysterious accident turned him into a vegetable. He's trapped in a cage of his own flesh, able to hear every word but unable to even twitch a finger. The injustice of it all is burning a hole through his soul. Suddenly, the door is kicked open, and another man strides into the room. Liu Ruyan doesn't even look surprised. It's Zhao Su, one of Su Mubai's old classmates. He walks in with a smug grin, mocking Liu Ruyan for hesitating to finish the job. Su Mubai's mind races as he recognizes the voice. He wonders what his friend is doing here during his final moments. Zhao Su doesn't hide his intentions, reminding Ruyan that Su Mubai's parents are dead, and his billions are waiting for her once he's gone. Su Mubai is seething, calling them a pair of dogs in his head. The betrayal goes deeper than he ever imagined. Zhao Su leans in, revealing that he's been planning this for 5 years, even going as far as putting Ruyan in Su Mubai's bed just to wait for this day. They embrace right in front of him, laughing about the car accident that failed to kill him. Ruyan even complains that Zhao Su was too sloppy for not finishing him off on the road. The man Su Mubai treated like a brother is the same one who tried to run him over. He's drowning in a sea of regret for ever trusting these two. Zhao Su reaches out to touch Su Mubai's face, looking surprised that he survived such a brutal crash. He's impressed by the toughness of his victim. He sneers, telling Su Mubai that not even a miracle from the heavens can save his life today. Zhao Su moves to finish the job, grabbing the mask and telling him to just go die already. He wants to make sure there's no coming back this time. Then his focus shifts back to Ruyan, and they start getting intimate right there in the hospital room. She giggles, asking him why he's being so impatient. She suggests they move to another room, feeling like it's bad luck to do this in front of a man who's about to die. Zhao Su picks her up and heads for the door, promising to come back and ravage her later. They leave Su Mubai alone in the dark to suffocate. Su Mubai is drenched in sweat, unable to even open his eyes as he fights against his own paralysis. He curses the heavens, pleading for his body to move just one time. The heart rate monitor starts to beep faster and then slows down. He can feel his life slipping away, and he absolutely refuses to accept this end. His hand falls limp as the final connection is severed. The world is fatting out, leaving him with nothing but his rage. Everything goes black, but his mind is still screaming. He won't let it end like this, not after what they did. Outside, the world is suddenly changing. People are stopping in their tracks, pointing at the sky in total shock. A massive, glowing portal appears over the city, pulsing with purple energy. A system voice announces that Blue Star has been selected for the Myriad Worlds Game. The announcement echoes across the globe, telling everyone that they'll be starting a brand new life from scratch. For some, it's a nightmare. For Su Mubai, it's an invitation. People look up at the towering skyscrapers as a countdown begins. In 30 seconds, the world they knew will be gone, and the game for survival will officially start. A mental download hits everyone on the planet, flooding their minds with everything they need to know about the Myriad Worlds Game. It's a lot to take in all at once. People on the street are freaking out. One guy thinks it's the coolest thing ever that info just appeared in his head, while the dude next to him is visibly shaking with nerves. They quickly realize this game is the ultimate equalizer. Without a paid system, all the rich elites who used to run the world are suddenly just as vulnerable as everyone else. In a luxury bedroom, Zhao Su and Liu Ruyan are staring at their own holographic screens. Zhao Su is sweating about the foreign races they have to fight, while Ruyan is fuming that her real-world billions are officially worthless. Zhao Su tries to sound tough, saying they just need a pulse to play. He sneers at the thought of Su Mubai, wondering if he's even capable of joining the game. Liu Ruyan just laughs it off. She's convinced that even if Su Mubai makes it in, his wrecked body will make him nothing but a useless anchor. The wait is finally over. The global countdown hits 0 and the transition begins. Across the world, billions of people are converted into digital data. Su Mubai feels the pull as his essence is swept up into the system's transmission. Su Mubai gasps for air, struggling to wake up and grasp this new reality. This is the reincarnation he never dared to imagine, his entire body drenched in a cold sweat. He struggles to pry his eyelids open, fulfilling the requirement for the system to confirm his identity. Heaven has just handed him a second chance, and he's not about to let it go to waste. Surrounded by a blinding white light, his resolve hardens. He refuses to just curl up and die. He's going to fight for every second of this new life. Beams of purple light erupt into the sky as the transmission goes full throttle. The old world is officially being left behind. On the ground, it's absolute chaos. Most people are looking around in a daze, wondering if this is really the end of the world as they knew it. Some can't handle the shock. One guy collapses to his knees, begging to go home because he never signed up for a life-or-death transmigration. But for others, this is a fresh start. A businessman throws his hands up in the air, ready to leave his boring life behind and embrace whatever comes next. Su Mubai finds himself standing on a massive island floating in a purple void. Ahead of him sits the Descendants' Temple, a silent monument in the middle of nowhere. He slowly stands up, then realizes that he can actually stand back up. The fact that his body is working again hits him like a sledgehammer to the head. A system voice booms across the temple, welcoming the players from Blue Star. It immediately starts scanning his body data to set up his character. For Su Mubai, the feeling of being truly alive again is absolutely incredible. He doesn't hesitate when the screen asks him to pick a name for this new world. He's identified as a descendant, and the interface waits for his input. This is the moment he leaves Su Mubai behind. He types in Bai Yi and confirms it. As soon as the nomming is successful, the system moves on to the talent awakening process. The voice explains that every player gets one talent awakened in the Starry Sky Hall. It's the most important part of the start, since your talent defines your power. Talents are ranked from a lowly F grade all the way up to SSS. If you want to be a top-tier player, you better hope you roll something high. Bayi stares ahead, his face a mask of focus. He knows his entire future depends on this one roll, and he's praying his luck hasn't run out. A gold light erupts as the system congratulates him. He's managed to awaken an S-grade forbidden talent called Promotion. The skill allows him to promote any item by 1 grade for free, use resources to jump 2 grades, or trade lifespan to jump 3 grades and add a catastrophe trait. With his talent set, the system tells him it's time to choose a class. This is where he decides his role in the game. He looks at the 4 main categories: physical, magic, defense, and support. He's torn between going for a frontline warrior or a heavy-hitting mage. But the system has other plans. It detects that his initial attributes don't meet the requirements for most of the classes and starts crossing them off the list. Bayi is stunned as he watches his options vanish. He doesn't understand why he's being locked out of almost everything. Finally, only one class remains selectable: Necromancer. It's not what he expected, but the system doesn't give him any other way forward. He grits his teeth, frustrated that his choice was taken away before he could even think. But there's no going back now. The class selection is already a success. A bright burst of energy confirms the change. He's officially a necromancer, whether he likes it or not. He finds himself holding a skull-topped staff, looking every bit the part of an undead summoner. He tries to look on the bright side, thinking a necromancer might actually be a decent pick. Then he looks at his health bar and his heart nearly stops. His HP is locked at 1-1. It doesn't matter how high he levels, he's always 1 hit away from death. He stares at the screen in pure disbelief. This has to be some kind of sick joke. 1 single drop of blood lost, and he's gone. To make things even worse, he checks his remaining lifespan and sees he only has 1 year left to live. He looks at his menu, the blue glow reflecting in his eyes as he realizes he's backed into a corner. Since there's no retreat, he decides he has to take the biggest gamble of his life. He remembers that S-grade talent he just pulled. Promotion is his only way out of this mess. He points his finger and decides to use the catastrophe promotion on his own class. The system warns it costs 100,000 years of life, but he's got 1 free pass, and he's using it now. He smashes the confirm button without a second thought. It's all or nothing. A massive pillar of golden light engulfs him as the promotion hits. He's no longer just a necromancer. He's evolved into the exclusive hidden class, Death Sovereign. The system notifications chime in rapid succession. Bayi has unlocked the lifelink and summon enhancement skills, along with an exclusive offhand item called the Book of Death, while his hidden class gains a mysterious catastrophe trait. A translucent window appears in front of him, starting a final 10-second countdown. The voice of the system instructs him to prepare for the official start of the Myriad Worlds Game. Bayi grits his teeth, his hand tightening around his wooden staff as the glowing red numbers tick down. He acknowledges that the promotion cost him dearly, but his focus is entirely on the immediate transition into the game world. His mind flashes with the images of Zhao Su and Liu Ruyan, their faces twisted into arrogant smirks. He vows to find them both and ensure they experience the same flavor of despair they forced upon him. The countdown reaches its final moments, 3, 2, 1, and then it finishes, marking the end of his old life. A block of text explains the harsh reality of death in this game, a loss of a level, and a full 10% of one's lifespan. Fortunately, the beginner village offers a temporary safety net, protecting players' precious remaining years from being deducted upon death. White light fades to reveal a lush, vibrant world where players are materializing by the dozens. Some are already complaining about work, while others are trying to find someone to show them the ropes. The system welcomes him to Beginner Village 9527 of the Shenlong Empire. Bayi stands amidst the crowd, his gaze steady as he ignores the enthusiastic shouts of players who believe their fantasy novel dreams are finally coming true. Around him, the air is filled with people shouting their talent tiers and looking for parties to grind with. Bayi ignores the calls for mages and healers. deciding instead to head straight for the village entrance to test his new capabilities. He opens his skill menu to inspect Summon Little Skeleton. It's a basic F-tier active skill that brings a weak skeletal warrior into existence to fight on his behalf. Wisps of ethereal blue energy begin to swirl and condense in front of him as the summoning process initiates. Bai looks on with a calm expression, nodding that he currently only has 2 F-tier skills to work with. One is for summoning his undead servants, and the other is a direct attack. He scrolls to the next skill, Lifelink, an A-tier ability that allows him to tether his own life force to one of his summons. This instant cast skill is exactly the insurance policy he needs for his fragile health. The third skill, Summon Amplification, is a powerful S-tier passive. It significantly slashes his summoning times and cooldowns while granting massive stat boosts and increasing the number of minions he can control. A small, confident smirk plays on his lips as he reviews his arsenal. Having both an A-tier and an S-tier skill right at level 0 gives him a massive head start over the average player. His attention is drawn to a heavy, ornate tome floating in midair, the Book of Death. The book is a sovereign-exclusive item that cannot be traded, dropped, or destroyed. It pulsates with a dark energy, its secrets locked until he reaches higher levels. Burning orange flames lick around the edges of the book as it hovers. This law book is his personal guide to learning the most exclusive and powerful skills of the Death Sovereign. Bai realizes the book's first effect won't kick in until he actually hits level 1. Shrugging it off, he raises his hand to bring his first servant into this world. With a surge of blue fire and shadow, a skeletal warrior armed with a sword and shield rises from a circular portal on the ground. He blinks in surprise as a second skeletal warrior manifests right beside the first one. A system alert informs him that his Cataclysm trait has been triggered. The Cataclysm trait is a core part of his hidden class, doubling the effects of all his skills. He notes that several other powerful features remain locked behind level requirements. He begins walking down the dirt path with his 2 skeletal guards in tow. Despite their intimidating appearance, he can tell from their current aura that they aren't particularly strong yet. A bald player in polished green armor runs up to him, his eyes wide with excitement at the sight of the summons. He assumes Bai Yi has an A-tier talent and eagerly offers to team up for fast leveling. Bai Yi doesn't even slow his pace, giving the man a dismissive glance. He politely but firmly states that he prefers to level solo, leaving the armored player standing awkwardly in the dust. Near the village gate, other players watch him pass with skeptical looks. One man scoffs, loudly suggesting that summoner classes are likely too weak to even handle the low-level mobs. Further ahead, a group of players is struggling in a chaotic brawl against a flock of oversized chickens. They curse their luck as the level 0 mobs prove to be much tougher and faster than expected. Bai Yi pauses at the edge of the clearing, watching the frantic battle with a detached gaze. His skeletons stand ready at his side, their blue eye sockets glowing with unholy light. He focuses on one of the birds, and a stat window for a walking chicken appears. It's a level 1 mob with 100 hit points and enough attack power to make any unprepared player regret their life choices. A woman casting green magic nearby points him out to her teammate. They both stare in awe at his skeletons, realizing he must have pulled an incredible talent during the awakening phase. Bai Yi continues walking toward the deeper part of the woods, his skeletons trailing behind him. He assures the starring players that he has no intention of stealing their low-level kills. He knows his talent is far too powerful to waste time on simple farm animals. He needs something that will give him a real challenge and better experience. He looks deep into the dense tree line, his eyes scanning the shadows for something more substantial to hunt. He finds a group of red-eye rabbits lurking among the roots. They are level 2 creatures, and his skeletons immediately charge forward to engage them. The system warns him that these rabbits are known for their painful ramming attacks. Bai Yi looks at the level 2 stats and finds the flavor text's warning about the rabbit's target choice quite humorous. He immediately orders his 2 skeletal minions to butcher these rabbits. White damage numbers pop up as the summons easily overwhelm the small monsters. He stands back and watches the slaughter, enjoying the fact that he doesn't have to risk himself in melee combat. He decides to summon even more minions to speed up the process. Dark energy ripples from his hands as he directs his growing army. "Hack it to pieces," he commands, his voice cold and focused. A red-eye rabbit is caught in a pincer attack, blood spraying as the skeletal blades find their mark and finish the creature off. A notification confirms the kill, granting him bonus experience for defeating a higher-level mob. He checks the gains and decides that this is a much better pace for reaching level 1. Baiyi pulls up his status window to check his health. While his base HP remains a precarious one, he now sees 2 massive lifelink bars, each with 400 health, effectively shielding him from death. After wiping out the group of rabbits, he looks back at his 4 active skeletons and decides it's a solid start. With a purposeful stride, he leads his undead squad deeper into the forest to continue the grind. Baiyi stands on the dirt path, watching his 4 skeletal warriors effortlessly dispatch another group of red-eye rabbits. The glowing blue eyes of his summons cut through the darkness of the forest. A group of nearby players stop their own hunting to watch in awe as he strolls past. They whisper about his 4 skeletons, speculating that he must possess at least an S-tier talent to be ranking so high in Beginner Village 9527 already. A golden pillar of light erupts around Baiyi as a system notification chimes. He has successfully reached level 1, gaining a boost to all his stats along with a skill point and 15 free attribute points. He pulls up his character panel to review his current state, noting that while his level has increased, his HP remains fixed at a precarious 1 point. He realizes that he needs to prioritize spirit to strengthen his summons and agility to ensure he can evade any direct attacks. With a quick series of taps on his translucent interface, he allocates 4 points into agility and the remaining 11 into spirit. He completes the distribution with a satisfied nod. A wide, confident grin spreads across Baiyi's face, his eyes gleaming with a manic intensity. He looks at his stats one last time, ready to test the full potential of his modified class. The system notifications continue to flood in as his skills undergo a massive promotion. His basic summoning and burn skills evolve to E tier, while his critical passive skills reach S and even SS tier status. He examines the new summon skeleton skill, which now requires a 3-second cast time and has a 30-second cooldown. Though it consumes more mana, the power level of the summoned warrior has significantly increased. The most dramatic change comes from the SS tier death conscript, passive. It slashes his summoning cast times and cooldowns by 75%, while doubling both the stats and the maximum number of minions he can control. Baiyi's eyes widen as he reads the description of his new S-tier passive, life sharing. This skill allows him to distribute any damage he takes across his entire army, effectively giving him a massive secondary health pool that negates his 1 HP weakness. He raises his skeletal staff high, and a torrential swirl of blue spectral flames erupts around him. He decides there's no longer any need to hide his strength, declaring his intent to fill his summon cap and grind with everything he has. Looking at the glowing Book of Death in his hand, he decides it's the perfect time to upgrade his exclusive class item. He channels his power into the tome, causing it to pulsate with a blinding orange light. The item evolves into the sacred Tome of Death, granting him a significant boost to his magic power. While more powerful effects are teased for level 10, the immediate upgrade is a welcome addition to his arsenal. He sighs slightly at the modest magic power increase, but shakes it off as he prepares to move deeper into the forest. With his staff in hand and his spirit high, he declares that his true leveling journey has officially begun. From a bird's-eye view, Baiyi looks like a dark general as he marches through the woods. His skeletal warriors fan out around him, swarming over any monsters that dare to cross their path. A claw-cat demon with dark red fur and sharp talons lunges from the brush, letting out a ferocious roar. Its eyes are fixed on the intruder, but it has no idea what it's about to face. Baiyi doesn't even flinch, his face twisted into a dark, eager smirk as he begins the summoning ritual. He calls forth the full weight of his 20-skeleton limit, the air around him crackling with necromantic energy. The forest floor becomes a chaotic battlefield as his skeletons overwhelm the cat demons. One skeleton raises its blade to execute a mob while Baiyi stands calmly in the center of the carnage, his staff glowing with power. A montage of combat alerts appears as he ruthlessly clears the area, defeating multiple level 3 claw cat demons. The constant stream of experience points culminates in another level up, bringing him to level 2. Half an hour of relentless grinding passes, and Bai Yi has become a force of nature. He leads a literal tide of skeletal soldiers through the forest, clearing everything in sight at a speed that defies common sense. He raises his fingers in a commanding gesture, shouting for his army to keep the pressure on. The forest echoes with the rattling of bones and the roars of the undead as they charge forward under his command. Bai Yi finally arrives at the entrance of a glowing red portal, the misty forest dungeon. He stands before the swirling energy with his massive army behind him, ready to conquer the first true challenge of the Myriad Worlds Game. A system notification pings as Bai Yi steps into the forest of mist. It's set to hell difficulty, the kind of place where one wrong move means game over. He's not alone, though. He's got a whole squad of armored skeletons standing ready behind him. He looks around, but the fog is so thick he can barely see his own hand in front of his face. The path ahead is completely swallowed by the white haze. It's the perfect spot for an ambush, and he knows it. Bai Yi doesn't seem worried, though. He raises his staff, glowing with blue energy, and gives the order to his skeleton crew to scout ahead. He's looking to clear the path and take out anything that breathes or doesn't. He keeps his cool, knowing he can control his summons within a 100-meter range. Without that mental link, he'd probably lose half his army in this soup. He stands tall, arms on his hips, letting the skeletons do the heavy lifting. Suddenly, a massive mist treant towers over one of his soldiers. It's a level 8 elite with over 3,000 HP and some nasty-looking branches. The skeleton looks tiny compared to this wooden titan. Instead of panicking, Bai Yi just smirks. Finding a monster this early is exactly what he wanted. He's ready to see just how much experience this overgrown tree is worth. He gives the command, and the skeletons swarm the giant. The treant fights back, lashing out with a skill called Entangle. A massive, glowing vine sweeps across the ground, trying to pin his boys down. One of the skeletons gets snatched up, thick vines wrapping around its ribcage. The monster isn't going down without a fight. It's got a surprising amount of strength for a walking pile of mulch. Bai Yi watches the struggle, calculating the risks. The elite's attack power is impressive, but he's got a secret weapon, sheer numbers. He's got more skeletons than the tree has branches. He points forward, and the rest of the squad dives into the fray. Swords and axes bite into the treant's bark from every angle. It's total chaos as they focus fire on the monster. The treant finally collapses into a pile of wood. A notification pops up confirming the kill and a sweet 50% level gap bonus. That's a 60-point X boost right there. He checks the stats and realizes the hell difficulty has buffed the mobs by 3 levels. Every single one of them is an elite, which means the experience gains are going to be massive. He's got a long road ahead, but the payoff looks worth it. Suddenly, something massive shifts in the shadows behind him. A giant snake with glowing red eyes slithers out of the mist, ready to strike. It's a mist tree boa, and it's been waiting for him to let his guard down. The snake lunges, but Bai Yi is too fast. He leaps back, blue energy sparking around his staff as he realizes he's been ambushed. This one's another level 8 elite, and it looks hungry. He doesn't let the surprise get to him. He jokes about roasting the snake for dinner as he readies a counterattack. The boa's stats pop up, showing off its strangle skill, but he isn't planning on letting it get close enough to use it. A blast of energy hits the snake square in the head. Red damage numbers fly off as it hisses in pain. He's dealing some serious damage, and he's just getting started. The skeletons don't miss a beat, jumping onto the snake's back. They hack away at its scales while Bai Yi keeps up the pressure. It's a coordinated beatdown that leaves the monster with nowhere to run. The snake goes down, and another exp notification rolls in. He's taking out these elites left and right. The hell-level difficulty doesn't seem so tough when you've got an undying army at your beck and call. Bai Yi takes a moment to breathe, a cocky smile on his face. His spirit attribute is 3 times higher than an ordinary necromancer's, but his spells still feel weak compared to his skeleton boys. He knows where his real power lies. A golden glow erupts from the snake's remains. It's an actual equipment drop, a tree boa belt. He reaches out to grab it, hopping for something that'll give him an edge. He inspects the belt, but it's just leather armor. He can't even use it, but he figures it'll still be worth a decent amount of gold. He tosses it into his inventory and keeps moving. He signals the squad to move out. They've got more ground to cover and a lot more monsters to find. The skeletons march ahead, their glowing eyes cutting through the fog. As they push deeper, the forest comes alive with threats. More treants and boas emerge from the trees, surrounding him. He's outnumbered now, but he doesn't look bothered at all. He slams his staff down, and a massive blue magic circle erupts beneath him. It's time for the harvest to begin. He's going all out to clear this wave in one go. The skeletons go wild, tearing into a treant with frenzied attacks. Blue flames lick off their blades as they strike. The monster groans under the weight of the assault, its wooden body splintering. Another skeleton leaps onto a snake, its sword glowing with power. It's a clean hit that sends scales flying. The dungeon is turning into a slaughterhouse as he pushes forward. From high above, you can see the scale of the battle. Dozens of skeletons are locked in combat with the forest's defenders. It's a sea of bone and mist, and Bai Yi is right in the center of it all. A massive golden pillar of light engulfs him. He's finally hit level 5, and the stat boosts are rolling in. He's getting stronger with every kill, and the system is rewarding him for the grind. He pumps a fist in the air, grinning from ear to ear. The level up feels good, especially after all that work. He's one step closer to whatever goal he's chasing in this crazy game. The loot is piling up around him. A magic wand, a dagger, more leather gear, and even a few skill books. He looks over the hall, already planning how to turn this trash into treasure. Most of it's useless to him now, but it's still money in the bank. He pulls up his attribute panel to check his progress. His spirit is up to 108, but that HP is still sitting at a terrifying 1 out of 1. He really is a glass cannon, one hit, and it's all over. He picks up the new wooden magic wand and sighs. The stats are still pretty pathetic compared to what he really needs. He knows he'll have to find something way better if he wants to survive the bosses. Something else catches his eye, his tome of death leveled up too. A new notification pops up as the book glows with an eerie orange light. It seems his growth is tied to more than just his own level. He opens the tome to check the new attributes. It's a class-exclusive item that grows with him, and the buffs it's giving his summons are insane. It even has a special effect that unlocks at level 10. He's impressed with the numbers, 25 points added to all attributes and extra damage against the undead. It's exactly the kind of edge he needs. He laughs to himself, feeling like he's finally getting somewhere. He rallies his skeletons, pointing his glowing staff toward the heart of the forest. With his new gear and boosted stats, he's ready for the big one. It's time to face the boss of this place. He marches forward, his boots crunching on the dead leaves. He's eager to see just how tough the boss really is on hell difficulty. He isn't holding anything back now. He rounds a corner and stops in his tracks. Ahead of him is a silver-grade boss and 2 enhanced elite guards. This is a huge jump in difficulty, and he knows it's going to be a brutal fight. The boss is a massive red serpent, the Myriad King. It towers over the forest floor with 88,000 HP and an attack power that could probably one-shot anything. Those glowing red eyes are locked right on him. One of the guards, a smaller but still lethal-looking cobra, hisses as it readies to strike. It's an enhanced elite with over 8,000 HP and its own set of nasty skills. These guys are the real deal. Bai Yi rubs his chin, looking at the massive health bars. He's wondering if his skeleton crew can actually hold out against 80,000 HP. He decides there's only one way to find out and shrugs off the doubt. He gives the final command, and the skeletons charge forward into the clearing. They don't show any fear as they rush toward the massive serpent. The boss fight is officially on, and it's going to be legendary. The Myriad King doesn't waste any time. It lunges forward and wipes out one of Bai Yi's skeletons in a single, brutal bite. He's genuinely shaken. That kind of raw attack power is absolutely terrifying. But the shock doesn't last long. Bai Yi grins, his eyes narrowing with a sharp, dangerous glint. Sure, the boss hits hard, but he's got a plan that doesn't rely on being tougher, just more numerous. He raises his staff, calling out for his skeleton C tactic. If the snake wants to kill them, it's going to have to bite through an endless wave of bone. He's betting his entire strategy on overwhelming the boss with sheer volume. He gives the order to hack away, and the skeletons swarm the massive serpent. They're climbing all over it, swords and axes swinging wildly. It's a messy, chaotic brawl in the middle of the mist. The battle notifications start rolling in as his boys take down the guards. Killing those level 8 enhanced elites nets him a nice extra X bonus. It's a good start, but the main prize is still very much alive and angry. With the guards out of the way, Bai focuses everything on the boss. He stands back, blue energy swirling around his hand as he directs the focus fire. It's all or nothing now. The Boa King lunges again, its massive body coiling and striking with incredible speed. It's a flurry of scales and fangs, trying to clear the skeletons off its back. The forest floor is being torn up by the sheer force of its movement. A close-up of the beast reveals its jagged fangs and dripping maw. It lets out a deafening roar that echoes through the trees. This isn't just a monster, it's a force of nature. Bai looks a bit sheepish as he checks the damage numbers. His own attacks aren't doing nearly as much as he'd hoped. He's starting to realize he might be a bit of a lightweight in the direct combat department. The Boa King towers over the skeletons, looking down at them like they're nothing more than annoying bugs. It's a massive, intimidating silhouette against the purple sky. The scale of the boss is truly sinking in now. It strikes again, sweeping through the skeleton ranks and smashing them into pieces. The ground shakes with every impact. It's a one-sided slaughter as the boss clears the area. Bai watches in horror as the boss literally starts eating his soldiers. One by one, they're getting swallowed whole. He's losing his army fast, and he needs to do something before he's the only one left. The serpent begins to glow with an intense blue light, stars and sparks flying off its scales. It's charging up for something big. Bai braces himself, knowing a major skill is about to drop. He watches the boss closely, sweat beading on his forehead. This is the moment where everything could fall apart. He's waiting for the strike, ready to react if he can. The Boa King opens its mouth and spits out a massive cloud of glowing green poison. It's a disgusting, corrosive mess that covers the entire area. The air itself seems to sizzle as the toxin spreads. Bai realizes the boss isn't just mindless, it's targeting him directly. The poison cloud is heading straight his way, and there's no time to dodge. He grits his teeth, bracing for the impact. The green toxic mist completely engulfs him, hiding him from view. It looks like it's over, but the boss is in for a surprise. The poison swirls around him, but he's still standing. He steps out of the smoke with a smug grin, completely unharmed. He reveals his secret, life-sharing. With over 100,000 health points shared across his army, that lethal attack was barely a scratch. He laughs, readying another spell with his staff. He tells the boss it's time to give up and die already. The tide has turned, and he's feeling more confident than ever. The fight enters its final stage as the skeletons deliver the finishing blows. You can see the magic flying and the boss thrashing in its death throes. It's a total group effort led by a very smart strategist. The notification finally pings. Silvergrade boss Mist Tree Boa King is dead. Bai earns a massive 14,000 X points. He's done it, the first solo kill of a silver boss in the entire village. He throws his arms up in victory, basking in the success. A global announcement rings out, congratulating White Knight for his achievement. He's just secured the first kill reward, a basic life soul stone and a gold coin. Back in Novice Village 9527, the announcement causes a complete meltdown. Players stop in their tracks, looking up at the sky in disbelief. No one can believe a solo player just took down a silver boss this early in the game. A few seasoned players huddle together, whispering about this mysterious White Knight. They're convinced he must have an S rank or even an SS rank talent. Anything less would make a solo kill like that impossible. Out in the fields, ordinary players are struggling just to kill chickens. One guy complains about how unbalanced the game is, being stuck as cannon fodder while others are slaying legends. The gap between the elites and the commoners is already becoming a canyon. A mysterious woman with long dark hair and a red cape, Wealthy World, watches the news from the woods. She's unimpressed by the announcement, simply stating that there will be other opportunities later. She seems like someone who's used to being at the top. Nearby, a skilled player named Maple Leaf Xiaxio is busy skewering a boar with his spear. He's clearly powerful, but even he has to admit that White Knight is on another level. He's not ready to take on a silver boss himself just yet. Xiaoxiao chats with Wealthy World about their new rival's power. He admits White Knight is stronger than him, which is a big deal coming from a guy like him. They're both trying to figure out just how high this guy's talent level really goes. Wealthy World, also known as Sister Wealthy, looks thoughtful as she considers the possibility of an SS-rank talent. She's already thinking 3 steps ahead, wondering how this White Knight fits into her plans. She isn't the type to let a player like that go unnoticed. A massive armored guy named Ah Wei and a small mage called Cotton Candy join the conversation. They're both blown away by the idea of an SS-rank talent and ask Wealthy World if she can get him to join their group. It's clear they want him on their side before anyone else snags him. Wealthy World smirks, confident in her own charm and influence. She's convinced there hasn't been a man yet who could turn down one of her invitations. She's ready to make her move and bring this rising star into the fold. Back with Bai Yi, his screen is being absolutely buried in friend requests. Dozens of glowing notification boxes pop up all at once, blocking his view. It's the price of fame, and it's hitting him all at once. He looks completely overwhelmed by the sudden attention. He's just a guy who wanted to kill a snake, and now everyone in the game wants to be his best friend. He isn't exactly a people person, so this is his worst nightmare. He doesn't have time for a social life, so he decides to just mass reject every single request. He's got bigger things to worry about than making new friends. His focus is entirely on the loot he just scored. He holds up the basic life soul stones he just received, a look of curiosity on his face. He realizes these are the items that can actually increase his lifespan. It's a literal second chance at life, right in the palm of his hand. Each stone adds 30 days of life, and his eyes light up at the possibility. He realizes he can extend his time on this planet indefinitely if he keeps finding these. He immediately decides to use his promotion skill to see what happens. A notification confirms he successfully upgraded a stone to an intermediate life soul stone. It's a glowing magenta crystal that pulses with energy. The power of his promotion skill is really starting to show its worth. He's ecstatic as he realizes the upgrade quadrupled the lifespan bonus. 6 of these stones now equal almost 2 years of life. He's addicted to the feeling of getting something so valuable for absolutely nothing. He turns his attention to the rest of the loot, 2 skill books and a bunch of gear. None of the books are for his class, so he'll probably just sell them. But he spots a glowing ring that looks like it might have some potential. He picks up the venomous ring, which has a cool green gemstone. It's somewhat useful as it is, but he's curious to see what it becomes after a little upgrade. He's already planning how to maximize its potential. He activates the promotion, and the ring transforms into a gold-grade item. The stats are incredible: extra spell power, agility, and spirit. It's exactly the kind of boost he needs to keep his solo streak going. He's thrilled with the new venomous ring, especially the poison attribute. If his direct magic doesn't finish the job, the poison will definitely do the trick. He slips it on, feeling more powerful with every new piece of gear he promotes. Bai Yi stands over the remains of the battle, watching his surviving skeletons. He realizes that while they got the job done, a lot of them were wiped out by just a beginner boss. They're going to need a serious upgrade if he wants to survive what's coming next. He glances at the pile of gold coins he just earned. It's a small fortune for a level 1 player, and he's already thinking of the best way to spend it. He decides to see if he can push his summoning skill to the next level. A glowing holographic interface appears, offering him several paths for his summon skeleton skill. He skips the basic promotion and goes straight for sublimate, looking to unlock the true potential of his undead army. He isn't interested in small steps. The system asks for 5 gold coins to finalize the sublimation, a price that makes Bai Yi's eyes widen. It's a massive investment this early in the game, but he knows that power doesn't come cheap. He takes a deep breath and confirms the trade. A brilliant flash of blue light signals the success of the upgrade. His Summon Small Skeleton has evolved into the D-rank Summon Skeleton Soldier. Now, instead of just basic bone puppets, he can call upon specialized warriors and archers to do his bidding. Bai Yi raises his hand, and a new type of minion rises from the ground, a skeleton archer, crackling with blue soul fire. He's thrilled with the result, feeling like his 5 gold coins were well spent. He calls it his little cutie with a dark, satisfied grin. The stats for the skeleton archer pop up, showing impressive agility and a double-shot skill. It's a significant jump in power from the basic skeletons. The transition to the archer class has clearly given it a massive boost in combat effectiveness. He also checks the stats for the skeleton warrior, which now boasts high strength and a heavy strike skill. It's built for the front lines, ready to take hits and dish out massive physical damage. This is the foundation of a true army. Bai Yi looks over his new subordinates with pride, feeling that his Scourge army is finally starting to look the part. He commands them to spread out and continue exploring the forest. He's ready to see what these new soldiers can really do. The skeletons dash through the misty woods, their glowing blue eyes cutting through the darkness. Bai Yi follows behind, watching them work. The forest feels much less threatening with a squad of specialized killers at his side. They soon run into a group of level 8 elite goblins, but Bai Yi doesn't break a sweat. He calmly directs his ranged units to focus their fire on one target at a time. The battle is orderly and efficient, a far cry from the chaotic brawl with the boa. An arrow from one of his archers finds its mark, slamming into a goblin's head with a sickening thud. The impact is brutal, showing off the increased power of the upgraded summons. The goblins don't stand a chance against the coordinated assault. The skeletons finish off the rest of the goblins with ease, clearing the area in seconds. Bai Yi moves through the forest with increased speed, realizing his own attributes have grown as well. He decides it's time to move to a higher level area to keep the momentum going. The notification pings with more experience points as he leaves the battlefield behind. He's already level 8, and the bonus experience from killing elites is pushing him even further. He's moving at a pace that most players could only dream of. Back in the village, the air is filled with the shouts of players trying to form squads. Most are looking for ranked talents or higher to tackle the Mist Forest. It's a frantic, competitive scene as everyone tries to gain an edge. A burly man in heavy armor stands on a crate, shouting for people to join his hegemony guild. He met with skepticism from the crowd, who wonder why they should work for him. He looks like a typical boaster, but he has the numbers to back it up. To silence the doubters, he displays his S-rank talent, Born Leader. It's a powerful skill that allows him to form a guild for free and grants massive bonuses to all members. The glowing blue interface shows exactly how much faster they could grow under his command. The crowd's attitude shifts instantly as they see the 20% experience and drop rate bonuses. An S-rank talent is incredibly rare, and everyone wants a piece of that power. The recruiter is suddenly mobbed by eager players. The recruiter laughs, enjoying the attention, and tells everyone to line up and join one by one. He's already thinking about the grand plans he has for his new hegemony. He feels like he's on top of the world. Suddenly, a server-wide notification appears in the sky, drawing everyone's attention away from the recruiter. It's a pinned message, a luxury that costs a fortune this early in the game. The entire village stops to read it. The message is from Wealthy World, and it's a direct plea to Brother White Knight to accept her friend request. She claims to have important business to discuss. The fact that she used a 10 gold coin message just for a friend request is mind-blowing. The players in the village are stunned by the sheer display of wealth. A man with a goatee wonders aloud where someone could possibly get 10 gold coins so quickly. He's also curious about just how strong this White Knight must be to warrant such an expensive invitation. Out in the woods, Bai Yi sees the message and is genuinely impressed. He knows how hard it is to get that much gold, and he's intrigued by someone who would throw it away so casually. He decides it's worth a meeting and accepts the request. The two become friends, and Wealthy World immediately gets to the point. She offers to cover all his equipment and skills, and even throw in 100 gold coins as a signing bonus. It's an offer that sounds almost too good to be true. Bai Yi is skeptical and asks her why he should trust her. He's seen a lot of scams in his life, and he isn't about to sign his life away for a few gold coins. He wants proof that she's the real deal. Wealthy World doesn't hesitate. She tells him that to her, money is just a number. She offers to show him her talent as proof of her sincerity. She's confident that once he sees it, he'll understand why she can make such bold promises. She reveals her SSS-rank talent, God of Wealth. She stands surrounded by a literal rain of gold coins, her elaborate dress shimmering. The talent allows her to manifest money, increase her held currency daily, and ensures she never loses items on death. It's a game-breaking ability that explains her bottomless pockets. Baiyi stares at the screen, his mind racing. He's seen some powerful things, but a heaven-defying talent like that is on an entirely different level. He realizes he might have just met the most important person in the game. Baiyi stares at the SSS rank status screen, acknowledging that a God of Wealth talent is basically a license to print money. But for him, joining a team means the risk of his 1 HP secret getting leaked to the world. He flatly rejects the offer, telling the girl he prefers to solo during these early stages. It's just safer to level up alone when one stray hit could end his entire run. Wealthy World is fuming. She's got the wealth and the power, yet this guy just brushed her off like she's nothing. She watches him walk away, her pride taking a serious hit in front of her team. Her teammates are just as stunned, wondering why anyone would pass up a chance to roll with an SSS-ranked talent. They figure they'll just have to prove they can handle the grind perfectly fine without him. Suddenly, her interface pings with a new message. Her expression shifts from annoyance to genuine curiosity as she realizes it's from him again. Baiyi is actually looking to do business, offering up some spare equipment and skill books their team might be able to use. Wealthy World is immediately interested, never one to turn down a profitable trade. She breaks into a wide grin, eager to get her hands on whatever he's selling. She tells him she'll be waiting for his notification once he's done with his current business. The rest of the team starts getting hyped, realizing they might be getting a major power boost soon. Better gear means faster leveling, and they're all for it. Just then, a massive bronze-grade boss, the wild boar leader, spawns right in front of them. The team immediately shifts into combat mode, realizing this is their chance for a big kill. Wealthy World turns to her spearman teammate, asking if he's confident enough to take it solo. He looks ready to go, unfazed by the creature's massive size. To secure the global system announcement for the guild, he leaves the party to go for the solo kill. The others stand back and keep watch, making sure nobody else interferes with the fight. Wealthy World cheers him on as he charges toward the massive beast. It's a bold move, but they need that publicity to keep their guild's reputation on top. The spearman lunges forward, his weapon glowing with energy as he targets the boss's weak points. He's putting everything into this opening strike to set the pace of the battle. A direct hit connects, carving a massive chunk out of the boar's health. The impact sends a shockwave through the clearing as the beast let out a roar of pain. He doesn't let up for a second, dancing around the boss with a series of high-speed strikes. He's determined to end this quickly and prove his worth. The wild boar leader swings its massive club, nearly crushing him into the dirt. He barely manages to leap back in time as the ground shatters under the blow. He stays cool under pressure, looking for an opening in the creature's clumsy movements. He knows one mistake could be fatal, but his speed is keeping him one step ahead. Watching from the sidelines, Wealthy World is impressed by his refined combat experience. She's sure he's got this in the bag without any real trouble. Meanwhile, a system message flashes across the sky. Baiyi just soloed a level 8 silver-grade boss, the Goblin leader. The massive experience bonus is more than enough to push his progress even further. Baiyi stands in a clearing littered with goblin corpses, his level jumping up to 6. He's making progress much faster than anyone else in the starting zone, thanks to his skeletal army. Loot is scattered everywhere, and he actually sighs at the thought of having to pick it all up. It's a good problem to have, but definitely a bit of a chore after a big fight. He checks out a new skill book and a shimmering purple cloak he found among the loot. The mist cloak looks incredibly useful, even if he finds the design a little bit ugly. The cloak is a gold-grade item that significantly lowers his aggro, making it easier to slip past enemies without being noticed. For someone with only 1 HP, this is a literal lifesaver. He then picks up a jagged red accessory, the leader's emblem. He's clearly struck gold with this boss kill, finding gear that most players wouldn't see for levels. This gold-grade emblem gives a massive boost to his HP and mana, plus a nice buff to his spell critical chance. It's exactly what he needs to bolster his fragile build. As soon as he puts it on, his skeletons are already back in action, clearing out more mobs. But suddenly, a low growl echoes through the forest that makes him stop in his tracks. He notices one of his skeleton's health bars plummeting in an instant. Something much stronger than a regular goblin just entered the fray, and it's heading straight for them. The entire forest seems to groan as a dark, oppressive presence fills the air. A voice booms through the trees, demanding to know how bones appeared in its territory. A system alert blares. He's triggered a hidden plot called Rigu's Nightmare. The Goblin King has fallen into a state of madness, and all his attributes have just been boosted by 50%. To make matters worse, the dungeon exit is now sealed shut. The only way out of this mist is to kill the king within a tight 2-minute window. Skeletons swarm the area as Bai Yi readies himself for a fight he didn't see coming. He's curious to see just what kind of king he's dealing with. A massive goblin in royal robes crashes into the clearing, swinging a heavy weapon with terrifying force. The ground buckles under the sheer weight of his explosive entrance. The Goblin King roars, his eyes glowing with a murderous red light as he stares down the skeletal invaders. He's clearly not happy about these rotten bones trespassing in his territory. The status screen reveals a grim reality. King Rigu is a gold-grade boss with over 300,000 HP. In his madness state, he's practically an unstoppable tank with lethal attack power. And what's even creepier is that this guy can actually talk. Bai Yi's eyes widen at the massive health pool he has to chip away at. Taking this guy down in under 2 minutes for the hidden plot objective is going to be a hell of a challenge. He doesn't hesitate, commanding his skeletal army to swarm the king. He's banking on his numbers to overwhelm the beast's raw power while he stays safely in the back. The skeletons pile on, their arrows and blades chipping away at the king's massive HP bar. Damage numbers flood the air as the boss struggles to swat away the relentless undead. Rigu swings his massive club in a blind rage, smashing through the skeletal ranks with every blow. He's shouting insults at the filthy rotting bones as he tears them apart. A massive red energy blast erupts from the king, threatening to vaporize everything in its path. The sheer intensity of the attack is enough to make anyone rethink their chances of winning. Bai Yi narrows his eyes, focusing intently as the battle reaches its peak. He's calculating his next move, knowing he needs to finish this right now before the timer runs out. He steps forward, his hand glowing with a bright blue magical aura as a complex circle forms on the ground. He's finally stepping into the fight himself to deliver the final blow. A surge of magic fired by Bai Yi strikes directly, catching the Goblin King completely off guard. The king cannot believe that a lowly ant could actually wound him like this. Skeleton archers rain arrows down on the massive goblin boss, chipping away at his health as Bai Yi coordinates the assault from the rear. The projectiles hit home with precision, keeping the pressure on the king without letting up for a second. Bai Yi watches the damage numbers fly, shouting for his summons to keep their focus fire on the target. He's betting everything on this offensive, confident that they can blast the creature apart if they stay aggressive. Enraged by the skeletal onslaught, Rigu roars a command to his own warriors to smash the filthy bones into fragments. Red lightning crackles around him as he prepares a devastating counterattack to reclaim his domain. The system reveals the stats of the goblin warriors, now in a madness state with their attributes boosted by 50%. This isn't just a regular mob encounter anymore. It's a high-stakes bloodbath against elite forces. A horde of red-eyed goblin lackeys charges into the clearing, their blades drawn and ready for slaughter. The sheer numbers of the berserk reinforcements are enough to make any normal player think twice about staying in the fight. Bai Yi's face paled as he realized the boss could summon his own minions, and in a berserk state, no less. He knows this fight just got a whole lot more complicated than he initially anticipated. Rigu sneers at the damn necromancer, explaining that he's already hidden his clansmen deep within the mist forest to lay this exact trap. He's determined to protect his territory from invaders at any cost. The Goblin King's eyes burn with a murderous light as he demands to know why he won't be let go. He's reaching his limit, and he's ready to end this battle once and for all with a final, desperate move. Rigu leaps high into the air, his massive form silhouetted against the dark sky as he prepares his heroic leap. He crashes down toward Bai Yi like a falling mountain, intending to crush the life out of him. A massive explosion of dust and debris erupts where Bai Yi was just standing, the impact shattering the ground beneath the king's weight. The force of the blow is terrifying, threatening to annihilate anything caught in its wake. Bai Yi barely dodges the direct hit, skidding back across the dirt while clutching his side. He's grateful for his shared HP passive, knowing that hit would have vaporized him instantly if he didn't have his summons to tank the damage. Narrowing his eyes, he prepares his next move, his magical energy flaring up once more as he focuses. He commands a new wave of summons to join the fray and bolster his defenses. Blue magic swirls around him as he brings more skeletons into existence, ordering them to prioritize the smaller goblins first. He needs to thin out the crowd before he can safely focus back on the king. The battlefield becomes a chaotic mess of bone and green skin as the skeletons lock in combat with the berserk goblins. Every strike is a struggle for survival in this high-difficulty dungeon setting. Bai Yi points his hand toward the charging ranks, shouting for his archers to let loose another volley. He's micromanaging every unit on the field to ensure maximum efficiency in the clearing process. Volley after volley of arrows finds its mark, dropping the goblin warriors before they can even reach the front lines. Rigu can only watch in horror as his reinforcements are picked off one by the skeletal archers. The Goblin King's expression shifts from rage to desperation as he realizes his tide of warriors is failing. He refuses to accept that his reign could end so ignobly at the hands of a mere human. Enveloped in a red aura of fury, Rigu screams that he will never become anyone's slave again. It seems his hatred for necromancers runs much deeper than just this simple invasion of his forest. A system notification pings. Rigu has entered his final berserk state, trading defense for massive boosts in speed and power. He's a glass cannon now, but one that can likely one-shot almost anything in his path. Bai Yi just scoffs at the boss's dramatic speech, calling him a noob for all the useless posturing. He readies a ball of blue energy, focused entirely on ending the fight right here and now. Suddenly, a global announcement flashes across his vision, celebrating a player named Maple Leaf Xiaoxiao for the first solo kill of a bronze-grade boss. He's a bit annoyed that his first kill glory was just snatched away by someone else. He shakes off the distraction, knowing he can't risk losing the bigger goal for the sake of small gains. He needs to stay focused if he wants to survive this disaster-grade encounter and reap the real rewards. His skeletons charge forward with renewed vigor, their blades glowing as they deliver massive hits to the boss. The damage numbers are astronomical, far beyond what any normal level 6 player should be capable of producing. Rigu is pelted with a final barrage of arrows and sword strikes, his massive health bar finally hitting 0. He collapses into the dirt with a heavy thud, the long battle finally coming to an end. The Goblin King's crown clatters to the ground as his eyes go dark, his body going limp after the intense struggle. It's a silent, undignified end for a creature that fought with such absolute desperation. Bai Yi walks over to the corpse, his expression neutral as he searches for any loot. He's surprised to find absolutely nothing dropping from such a difficult and high-level boss kill. He starts to wonder if this strange lack of rewards is tied to the hidden plot he triggered earlier. There's something unusual about this entire dungeon experience that doesn't follow the normal game rules. Somewhere else in the novice village, a player laughs maniacally about finding a treasure that can actually increase his lifespan. It's the kind of item that every top guild would kill to get their hands on. Guildmaster Hongtu sits proudly on a crate, basking in the praise of his sycophants who call him the #1 expert in the village. He's clearly enjoying his status as a big fish in a small pond for the moment. He scoffs at the announcement for Maple Leaf, dismissing it as pure luck and ordering his men to go find a gold-grade boss immediately. His lackeys quickly agree, throwing shade at White Knight while they're at it to please their leader. The irony is palpable as another voice in the background mocks the idea that anyone is actually invincible or capable of killing anything in this game. The arrogance of the top guilds is on full display here. But then another system message rocks the village. White Knight has just solo-killed a gold-grade boss. The collective jaw of every player in the vicinity hits the floor at the impossible news. Hongtu's smug face vanishes instantly, replaced by a look of pure shock and disbelief. He grips the life-extending crystal tight, wondering what kind of SSS-ranked talent this Bai Yi must have to pull off such a feat so early. In a far-off place, Xia Xiao stands atop the remains of a monster he just defeated, his face scowling as he hears the news about Bai Yi. Beside him, Wealthy World and the other teammates cannot hide their shared look of total disbelief. Wealthy World places a hand on his shoulder, trying to reassure him that the game has only just begun and they have plenty of time to catch up. She reminds him that she's by his side, though her gaze remains sharp and focused. Xiaoxiao manages a confident smile, hoisting his staff as he decides it's time for them to tackle the first dungeon. He's determined to reclaim his spot at the top of the leaderboards and outshine this new rival. Back in the Mist Forest, Bai Yi reads the latest notification. He cleared the boss in under 2 minutes, triggering the disaster grade difficulty increase. He realizes the real challenge is only just beginning for him. A spectral mask of Rigu's face manifests in the air, glowing with an eerie blue light as it haunts the clearing. It's a chilling reminder of the king's final words and his refusal to be a slave. Bai Yi looks around in confusion, wondering what kind of bizarre event he's just kicked off in this dungeon. The blue energy swirling around him feels heavy and unnaturally cold. Visions of goblins trapped in cages and consumed by flames flicker before his eyes, showing a tragic side to their history. He can't help but feel a bit of sympathy for how they were treated before they became the monsters they are today. A familiar figure emerges from the blue smoke. It's the small skeleton Bai Yi summoned when he first started. He suddenly realizes that this tiny, weak summon was actually one of the goblins from those tragic visions. Rigu's spectral soul begins to pour into the small skeleton, merging with the tiny, fragile frame. It's a bizarre sight, watching the essence of a powerful king take over the body of the lowliest minion. Bai Yi looks on in surprise as the air around the small skeleton begins to ripple with intense magical energy. Something is happening that wasn't in his original plan for the encounter. A blinding pillar of blue light erupts from the tiny minion, the silhouette within growing rapidly in size and stature. The transformation is violent and overwhelming, completely reshaping the clearing. From the fading light, a towering figure clad in heavy blue armor and a tattered red cape emerges, wielding a massive, jagged blade. This isn't just a simple summon anymore, it's a monarch of the dead. The system window flickers to life, revealing the terrifying truth. The small skeleton has become the Skeleton King, Rigu. At level 10 and in an insane state, his attributes have skyrocketed, making him a formidable dark gold grade boss. A cryptic message from the game warns that this creature, one of the most successful creations of ancient necromancers, shouldn't even exist in a novice area. The balance of the world is being tested by this unexpected anomaly. The newly born Skeleton King looks down at his bony hands, his voice a rasping echo of his former self. He laments that despite all his efforts, he couldn't escape the inevitable fate of becoming one of the undead. Rigu raises his sword, commanding a legion of skeletal warriors to rise and fight in his name. The ground bursts open as his loyal subjects crawl out of the earth to serve their king once more in the mortal realm. He swings his massive black sword, the blade wreathed in dark blue energy that hums with destructive power. He's ready to turn this entire forest into a graveyard for anyone who dares to stand in his way. Bai Yi breaks into a cold sweat as he takes in the sight of a dark gold boss in a novice zone. He can't believe the game would throw something so overwhelmingly powerful at players who are just starting their journey. The Skeleton King stands tall amidst a storm of blue lightning, his presence alone warping the environment around him. He is a literal god of death in this small corner of the Myriad Worlds, radiating pure menace. The stats for the king's summoned warriors appear, showing them to be level 10 with 60,000 HP each. These aren't just fodder, they're elite soldiers boosted by a terrifying aura that enhances all their attributes. Even more windows pop up, detailing the skeleton mages and archers that have joined the fray. Each one is a high-level threat, their power pushed even further by the aura of the dead surrounding the king. Rigu's blade carves through the air, sending out shockwaves as he declares that all enemies shall join the ranks of the undead. Bai Yi realizes with a sinking feeling that his own minions are barely keeping up with just a few of these new threats. The protagonist grits his teeth, his mind racing to find a way out of this nightmare. The sheer attack power of the boss is so high that he knows a single direct hit would likely end his journey before it even truly began. To make matters worse, a system tip announces that novice village protection has been disabled for this hidden plot. Death now carries a permanent penalty of at least 10 years of his actual lifespan, a price he absolutely cannot afford. The thunder-heavy strike comes down with a deafening roar, numbers in the thousands popping up as the ground is scorched by magical lightning. The sheer scale of the damage is enough to wipe out an entire party. Bai Yi is sent tumbling backward as the shockwave of the blast hits him, his body crackling with residual electricity. He's barely clinging to life, the terrifying reality of the stakes finally hitting home. Pushed to the brink, he points his staff forward and commands his remaining little ones to focus all their fire on the scums. He knows he has to take down the boss's minions first if he wants any chance at the king himself. Another massive strike from the king tears through the battlefield, the damage output remaining consistently lethal. The air is thick with the smell of ozone and the sound of clashing steel as the fight rages on. Bai Yi continues to direct his skeletal archers and warriors, desperate to keep the pressure on the elite undead. Every command is a gamble, every second a fight for his literal future in this world. He realizes that his current mana pool can only support 20 skeleton warriors, which isn't nearly enough to breach the king's monstrous defenses. He needs a power spike immediately to turn the tide. A risky idea takes hold as he stares at his minions, thinking about upgrading his skills to another tier. He decides to risk it all on a cataclysm promotion, regardless of the potential cost to his lifespan. Without a second thought, he crushes the pink crystals, absorbing their life essence directly into his body. The magical feedback is intense, a searing heat that threatens to tear him apart from the inside. The system confirms the successful absorption of 15 life soul stones, but warns that his remaining lifespan has dropped below 6 years. He's then presented with 3 branches for his skill evolution: warrior, archer, or mage. Bai Yi chooses the skeleton warrior branch, reasoning that he needs the extra health and durability to survive the king's onslaught. It's the safest bet in a situation where one mistake means certain death. A heavy price is paid as 5 years of his life are drained away, but the reward is a powerful C-rank mutation for his summon skill. The new skeleton warriors boast 500% max HP and doubled attack power. Glowing with a fierce yellow aura, Bai Yi laughs as he begins to summon his new, mutated soldiers into the fray. He's ready to see whose skeletal army is truly superior in this battle of necromantic might. The new stats for his warriors are incredible, with HP near 70,000 and attack power to match. They are no longer just cannon fodder. They are true elite units capable of standing toe-to-toe with the king's guard. One of his massive new warriors slams into Rigu, the impact dealing over 12,000 damage in a single blow. Bai Yi urges his little ones to hold the line, his confidence returning as the battle shifts. The clearing becomes a chaotic symphony of destruction as the 2 skeletal armies clash, bones splintering and magic exploding in every direction. Huge damage numbers fly across the screen as the battle reaches its peak. Bai Yi doesn't stop, continuously summoning more of his elite warriors as fast as his mana pool allows. He's overwhelming the boss with sheer quality and numbers, laughing as the fight continues to turn in his favor. Driven into a corner, the Skeleton King roars his title to the heavens, entering a final berserk state. While his offensive stats are boosted significantly, both his defenses are reduced by half, leaving him vulnerable. Bai Yi sees the opening and smiles, calling the king out for accelerating his own demise by lowering his guard. He orders a final, concentrated wave of summons to deliver the killing blow and end the fight. A massive explosion of energy rocks the forest as the combined might of Bai Yi's army hits the boss all at once. The final damage numbers are staggering, completely obliterating what remained of the king's health bar. Rigu's armored form begins to crack and crumble, his glowing eyes dimming as he whispers his final, unwilling words. The monarch of the dead is finally laid to rest, his soul released from the nightmare at last. The system confirms the kill of the level 10 Dark Gold boss, rewarding Bai Yi with a massive experience bonus. A shower of golden light descends on him as he reaches level 8 in a single, massive jump. Bai stands in the center of the level-up pillar, his face lit with a mix of exhaustion and triumph. He can hardly believe he managed to jump multiple levels from just a single high-stakes encounter. His eyes widen as he sees the loot, 40 intermediate life soul stones and a mountain of gold coins. It's a literal fortune that makes all the life-threatening risks he took feel entirely worth it. Another notification pops up, congratulating him on the first clear of the Mist Forest dungeon in his village. The additional rewards of attribute gems and more gold are just the icing on the cake for his victory. He calculates his new lifespan, realizing that after this tier of free cataclysm, he's gained back over 13 years of life. He can't help but grin, his gamble having paid off in the most spectacular way possible. However, the next message catches him off guard. He's credited with clearing the hell-level difficulty of the dungeon. This doesn't seem to match the disaster level he thought he was facing. Bai looks back at the clearing, a look of genuine confusion crossing his face as he questions the system's logic. He's sure he triggered a disaster-grade event, so why is he being rewarded for a lower difficulty? Outside the swirling red portal of the Mist Forest entrance, a crowd of players gathers. An armored man leads a group, shouting out a recruitment call for anyone brave enough to tackle the dungeon with his guild. Guildmaster Hongtu stands tall in his heavy plate armor, a confident smirk on his face as he fields requests from eager novices. He readily welcomes a young player into his ranks, his boisterous laughter echoing through the clearing. The surrounding players begin to buzz with excitement, their eyes drawn to a group arriving with high-tier gear. They immediately recognize the famous Wealthy World, whose presence makes the prospect of a successful run seem much more certain. Hongtu's head snaps around as he hears the name, his cocky demeanor shifting to one of intrigue. The arrival of such a well-known player changes the dynamic of the gathering significantly. Wealthy World approaches, her striking appearance and expensive level 5 equipment drawing envious stares from the crowd. Beside her stands Zio, looking equally composed as onlookers whisper about the sheer amount of money her gear must have cost. Hongtu greets her with practiced politeness, acknowledging the reputation she has built for herself in the game. Wealthy World responds with a graceful smile, modestly claiming that her fame is nothing compared to the widespread renown of the Hegemony Guild's master. Sensing an opportunity to assert his dominance, Hongtu suggests making the upcoming dungeon run more interesting with a wager. Wealthy World listens intently, her eyes narrowing slightly as she asks what kind of stakes he has in mind. With a flourish, Hongtu proposes a competition to see who can secure the first clear of the Mist Forest dungeon. He seems incredibly confident in his guild's ability to outpace any other group in the novice village. He leans in, his expression turning intense as he suggests that her financial backing and his tactical talent are a perfect match. He boldly states that if he wins, her entire group should join his Hegemony Guild, effectively merging their power. Hongtu waits for her reaction, a finger raised as he emphasizes the potential benefits of such an alliance. Wealthy World counters by asking what the reward would be if her group managed to take the first clear instead. She holds up 3 fingers, her smile turning sharp as she demands that his guild must perform 3 tasks for her should they lose the bet. She isn't about to let him dictate all the terms of their agreement. Hongtu laughs off the counteroffer, feeling certain that he won't have to fulfill any such promises. He seals the deal with a boisterous laugh, inviting her to lead the way into the dungeon. Before either group can step through the portal, a massive blue system announcement materializes in the air for all players in Novice Village number 9527 to see. It congratulates a player named White Knight for securing the first clear of the Mist Forest dungeon. The news hits Hongtu and Wealthy World like a physical blow, their confident expressions instantly replaced by masks of pure shock. Neither of them can believe that a solo player has already completed the objective they were just betting on. Hongtu's face contorts with rage as he realizes his elaborate bet has been rendered meaningless before it even began. He feels like a laughingstock, his pride wounded by the fact that White Knight has once again stolen the spotlight. Desperate to salvage the situation, Hongtu tries to pivot, suggesting they aim for the first clear of hard mode, since the normal difficulty record is gone. He's clearly rattled, sweat beading on his brow as he tries to maintain control of his guild. His attempt to save face is immediately derailed by another village-wide announcement. White Knight hasn't just cleared the dungeon, he has already secured the first clear of the Hell-level difficulty. The notifications continue to pour in, revealing that White Knight has also become the first player to solo kill a dark gold grade boss. The sheer impossibility of these feats leaves the entire clearing in stunned silence. The ultimate blow comes in the form of a region-wide announcement that reaches the entire Blue Star Zone. White Knight, a player from the Divine Dragon Empire, is officially recognized as the first to solo clear a disaster-level dungeon. Hongtu is trembling with fury, his teeth bared as he curses the unfairness of the situation. He can't fathom how one person could achieve so much while he was still standing at the entrance making petty bets. Fuming and unable to bear the whispers of the crowd any longer, he barks an order for his men to follow him into the portal. He's no longer looking for glory, just a way to escape the humiliation of being outperformed so publicly. Wealthy World remains behind, watching the portal with a thoughtful and somewhat frustrated expression. Despite her companion's urge to enter, she decides to wait, realizing that the most prestigious rewards have already been claimed and there is no longer any need to rush. In Novice Village 8888, a powerful warrior in a red coat faces off against a massive Goblin King in the Mist Forest. The area is a hell-level zone, and the beast is a formidable opponent even for a top-tier player. He lunges forward, his blade clashing violently against the monster's muscular arm. The impact creates a massive shockwave, but the beast stands its ground, barely bothered by the assault. The swordsman, breathing hard, glares at his foe in frustration. He's annoyed that someone named White Knight is already making global headlines while he's still struggling to take down this single boss. Meanwhile, in Village 9526, a blonde knight named Zhao Su stares at the global announcement with a look of suspicion. The name, White Knight, feels incredibly familiar to him, and it's starting to get under his skin. He turns to his companion, Liu Ruyan, and mockingly asks if this is one of her old boyfriends trying to make a comeback. She ignores his taunt, her gaze locked on the glowing text as a sense of dread sets in. Zhao Su pulls her close, reminding her of the wealth she enjoyed while she was with Su Mubai. He laughs at the irony, saying he'd be even more successful if this game hadn't started and changed the world's rules. Liu Ruyan's eyes widen as she finally makes the connection. She whispers that White Knight was the exact handle Su Mubai used whenever he played games in the past. The image of the man they betrayed flashes in her mind, his presence suddenly looming over them once more. If he's still alive, their lives are about to get a lot more complicated. Zhao Su scoffs, refusing to believe it could be him since he personally pulled the life support plug in the hospital. He's convinced the name is just a common one and that it's all a big coincidence. He tells Liu Ruyan that if it really is him, it just saves them the trouble of finding him. He suggests she simply seduce him again to lure him into a trap so they can finish the job once and for all. Liu Ruyan regains her confidence, a cold, calculating smile crossing her face. She's certain that her charms are irresistible and that she can handle whatever this White Knight turns out to be. Far away, the real White Knight, Bai Yi, stands triumphantly over the corpse of a disaster-level boss. The system rewards him with an S-rank skill and epic gear for his world-first solo clear. He quickly pulls up his inventory to see exactly what he's earned from this massive victory. He finds a new skill called Siphon, which allows him to absorb death energy from corpses and store it. It has no cost and a massive range, making it the perfect tool for a necromancer. Bai Yi activates the skill, and dark, swirling energy begins to drain from a nearby skeleton. The ability feeds directly into him, replenishing his mana and strengthening his connection to the undead. He lets out a satisfied laugh, realizing his mana consumption issues are finally a thing of the past. As long as there are bodies on the battlefield, he can keep his army going forever. He doesn't waste any time and uses his promotion talent to upgrade the Death Siphon Feedback skill book. The system confirms the cost-free promotion, pushing the ability to Tier 1. A golden light erupts as the skill evolves, permanently increasing its efficiency. He's now mastered the upgraded version, granting him even more power from every harvest. Looking at the massive corpse of the boss, he decides to see what kind of power he can pull from a high-level remains. "Let's test it out on you first," he says with a smirk. The results are staggering, as the system reports he's siphoned over 300 points of death energy from the Skeleton King's corpse. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from the remains like a storm, spiraling into Bai Yi's form until his energy storage hits its limit. He's overflowing with power, more than he ever thought possible. Even he is taken aback by the sheer amount, wondering if the boss's undead nature made its essence much richer than a typical monster. He turns his attention to the main prize, the Whisper of the Dead Robe. It's a sleek, epic-grade piece of gear that scales with his level, though it currently remains unidentified. He notes that this is likely the first epic item in the entire game zone. Since he doesn't have an appraisal skill yet, he decides to keep it safe in his inventory for now. But as he continues to search the remains, his eyes suddenly snap wide at a new discovery. He starts frantically digging through the loot with both hands, tossing aside bones and debris. He's determined to squeeze every bit of value out of the boss he's now killed twice. It's an absolute explosion of loot, with treasures of all kinds scattered across the ground. The list of rewards is massive, including gold coins, high-level gems, and several pieces of gold and dark gold equipment. He's essentially hit the mother lode. Among the treasures are multiple skill books for summoning different types of skeletons and a massive bone sword. He's practically inherited the boss's entire skill set. Finally, he finds a rare quest item called Hale's Crystal Ball, along with several soul remnants. It seems his victory has unlocked a path to an even greater challenge. The system prompts him to fuse 3 of his skeleton summon skills into a single, more powerful ability. He realizes he can combine his champions, archers, and mages into one elite force. He uses direct promotion to bypass the usual requirements and creates the Summon Advanced Skeleton skill. A golden vortex of energy marks the birth of his new, superior command. After checking the new skill's stats, he notes that it's already powerful but has room to grow. One more promotion could make it truly unstoppable. He examines the promotion tiers, seeing options that require massive amounts of gold or even his own lifespan. Opting for the free Tier 1 upgrade, he taps the promotion button. The skill level jumps to B rank, significantly increasing the number of elite skeletons he can summon at once. With his army upgraded, he turns his attention back to the mysterious crystal ball. He wonders what kind of secret or power lies within the glowing orb. A system message asks if he'll accept an epic grade quest called Hale's Legacy. It warns him of the extreme difficulty, urging him to consider the risks carefully. Bai Yi isn't satisfied with just an epic quest. He wonders if his promotion talent can be used on quest items as well. He reaches out and activates his talent on the crystal ball, pouring his energy into the orb. A sudden, violent surge of light erupts as the quest itself is forced to evolve. The gamble pays off beyond his wildest expectations. The quest is promoted to a legendary grade mission called Dylan's Sorrow, with difficulty beyond imagination. Without a moment's hesitation, he clicks accept. A massive, blue-flamed undead dragon roars on the screen as the legendary contract is officially sealed. He checks the final stats of Dylan's crystal ball. It's a legendary grade orb that scales with his level, granting massive boosts to his spell power and overall durability. Bai Yi grins, a glint of excitement in his eyes as he thinks about the massive boost to his critical hit chance. This single bonus has completely transformed his combat potential. He clutches the crystal ball, glowing with ethereal light, while the system notification confirms the incredible harvest. The loot from this clear has exceeded even his most optimistic calculations. With his business in the forest concluded, Bai Yi turns back toward civilization, ready for his meeting with a player known as Wealthy World. Outside the dungeon entrance, a woman in a striking red dress waits patiently, her long purple hair caught in the breeze. Beside her, a young mage in a wide-brimmed hat checks the time, anxious about their next move. The glowing orange portal ripples as Bai Yi finally steps through, his sudden arrival catching the attention of everyone nearby. Wealthy World's face lights up with a confident smile as she greets the man who just made global history. Bai Yi pauses, genuinely surprised to find a crowd, and especially the leader of a major faction, waiting specifically for him. He wonders if they've brought their wallets to do some serious business. Wealthy World wastes no time on pleasantries, asking straight away if he has the equipment he promised to sell. Bai Yi suggests they find a quieter spot, but she insists on trading right there in front of everyone. With a flick of his wrist, Bai Yi summons a mountain of gear, the various weapons and armor clattering onto the grass in a dazzling display. The sheer volume of loot is enough to make the surrounding players gasp in disbelief. Wealthy World is momentarily stunned by the quality of the haul, realizing the rumors about Bai Yi's strength were actually understatements. The onlookers whisper among themselves, convinced he must possess a legendary SSS-rank talent. He gestures toward the pile, asking if her group can actually handle such a massive transaction alone. Wealthy World's smile never wavers as she assures him that her pocketbook is more than deep enough. The crowd looks on in shock as they identify several pieces of high-grade equipment that haven't even been seen on the server before. Even the seasoned veterans in the group are wide-eyed at the variety of skill books he's just tossed out. Bai Yi begins listing his prices with cold efficiency. 5 silver for black iron, 20 for bronze, and 20 gold for the rare D-rank skill books. Wealthy World doesn't even blink at the high costs, agreeing to take every single item he's offering. Wealthy World reaches into her pouch and tosses a heavy bag of gold coins toward him, the sound of clinking metal echoing through the quiet clearing. Bai Yi catches the bag effortlessly, feeling the weight of his first massive payday in this new world. He gives her a slight nod, satisfied with the transaction so far. Wealthy World leans in, her eyes narrowing with interest as she asks him to bring out the real good stuff she knows he's hiding. He smirks, admitting that while he has better gear, the price won't be cheap. He reveals a collection of gold-grade equipment and a C-rank skill book that pulses with a vibrant energy. The crowd erupts in a frenzy at the sight, as items of this caliber are currently considered priceless treasures. Looking at the new prices, Wealthy World admits that she's temporarily short on cash for such high-tier items. Bai Yi remains unbothered, offering to let her take the gear now and settle the remaining debt by the next day. He's not worried about her backing out, as the system trade contract is ironclad and impossible to break. To him, this is just a smart investment in a future business partner. He holds up a special skill book, nodding that its price is non-negotiable at 500 gold coins. Wealthy World stares at the book, her expression shifting from calculation to pure excitement. The skill is revealed to be Resurrection, a highly coveted priest-class ability that allows a player to revive their teammates after a wipe. It's the ultimate survival tool for any top-tier guild. The young mage beside Wealthy World nearly jumps for joy, her eyes sparkling as she realizes they've just secured one of the rarest skills in the entire game. With a firm handshake, the deal is sealed, and both parties walk away satisfied with the trade. Wealthy World promises to have the rest of the gold ready within 24 hours. As she walks away, Bai Yi watches her thoughtfully, recalling the details of her unique talent. He realizes her financial power comes from a source most players could only dream of. Her god of wealth, talent allows her to summon a literal money tree once a day, which provides a random amount of gold coins just for shaking it. It's the kind of economic advantage that explains her bottomless wealth. Bai Yi calls out to her, proposing a second deal involving rare life soul stones. He offers her the chance to take the first clear of the nightmare-level mist forest if she meets his conditions. His price is steep. He wants all the life soul stones from her first clear rewards, plus any she's currently holding. It's a gamble, but he knows she can't resist the glory of a top-tier clear. Wealthy World agrees instantly, her eyes bright with the prospect of another major victory. She's more than happy to trade utility items for a spot in the history books. Sometime later, Bai Yi is out in the open grasslands, the system notifications pinging constantly as he wipes out level 10 monsters. His experience bar is climbing steadily as he hunts down wild bison and grassland wolves. While most players would be struggling against such powerful beasts, Bai Yi is casually lying in the grass, letting his skeletons do all the heavy lifting. He watches the clouds drift by while the death toll rises around him. He thinks to himself that life is pretty sweet, even if he's technically only one hit away from permanent death. His progress is faster than anyone else's, and the rewards are piling up. A golden light envelops him as he hits level 9, granting him another batch of attribute points to distribute. He stretches lazily, wondering where that elusive Appraiser NPC could have wandered off to. Bai Yi has been running for what feels like miles, searching every corner of the grasslands for a sign of the missing NPC. He scans the horizon, his frustration mounting as the trail goes cold. He mutters to himself about the strange priorities of this master appraiser, who apparently prefers the peace of the prairie over making a profit in the village. It's a long walk for a simple identify job. Suddenly, a system message flashes in his vision. His skeleton champion has been destroyed. Before he can even react, his cataclysm trait triggers, reviving the summon instantly back in its home space. Bai Yi freezes, his mind racing as he looks at the massive health pool his summon had. He can't believe something out here managed to one-shot a creature with nearly 150,000 HP. He realizes that if the local NPCs are this dangerous, he needs to be much more careful with his own limited lifespan. He watches from a distance, trying to gauge the strength of the invisible attacker. He scans the horizon again, his annoyance growing as he still hasn't spotted a single soul in this vast, green expanse. The silence of the plains is starting to feel ominous. A chill runs down his spine as another skeleton is snuffed out in a single blow, its essence flickering before the resurrection trait kicks in once more. The speed of the attack is almost impossible to follow. It turns out that Bai Yi has been wandering around this area for a while because he's looking for an NPC. He scans left and right in search of his target while leaving his skeletal warriors to farm for him. Finally, he spots a man sitting calmly on a stool, his back to the chaos as he focuses entirely on a canvas. Bai Yi approaches with caution, realizing this is the person he's been hunting for. The system finally confirms the identity of the man before him, Huagian, the legendary appraiser of the region. Bai Yi is stunned, realizing that the terrifying power he just witnessed came from this unassuming painter. Huagian sighs, clearly miffed that his peaceful sketching session was interrupted by a wave of undead. Bai Yi quickly offers a bag of gold coins as compensation, hopping to get back on the NPC's good side. As soon as he saw the bag of gold, Huagian snatched it in a flash. Yet he still bluffed to the kid, "Do I look like someone who's desperately short on cash to you?" before reaching into his coat to pull out something else. With a flick of his wrist, he tosses a rolled-up scroll toward Bai Yi, claiming his work is a rare treasure. He sets a steep price of 100 gold coins, telling the kid he should consider himself lucky to even see it. Bai Yi catches the scroll and unfurls it, only to find a crude drawing of stick figures that looks like it was done by a toddler. A system prompt appears, confirming he's officially obtained Huagian's painting. A dark, oppressive aura suddenly flares around the old man, his eyes glowing a menacing red as he stares down the young warrior. Bai Yi breaks into a cold sweat, quickly stuttering that he only meant he needed to wash his hands before touching such a masterpiece. The heavy pressure vanishes instantly as Huagian bursts into a hearty laugh, slapping Bai Yi on the shoulder with surprising force. Pleasantly surprised by the flattery, he offers to appraise a few items for free as a reward for the entertainment. A brilliant, golden light erupts from Huagian's hands as he begins the identification process, the intensity of the glow reflecting his hidden power. He examines the gear with a practiced eye, remarking that the boy has both incredible skill and even better luck to have found such treasures. He admits that at 100 gold for 4 appraisals, he's taking a massive loss on the deal. Closing his eyes, the master appraiser begins a low incantation, swirling magical energy around the pile of equipment to strip away the fog of the unknown. The first item to be revealed is a pair of dark gold shadow boots, crackling with dark energy. These plate armor boots provide massive boosts to health and speed, granting the wearer the legendary Shadow Step ability. Next is the bone-heavy armor, a formidable chest piece that can be upgraded 3 times to increase its power. Its active skill, bone armor, can triple the item's defensive capabilities, making the wearer nearly untouchable in close combat. The third treasure is a massive bone greatsword, a 2-handed weapon designed for pure destruction. With nearly 300 attack power and a passive splash damage effect, it turns every swing into a lethal area of effect strike. Finally, the Necklace of the Dead is identified, a dark gold accessory that massively boosts spell power and mana. It carries a curse that reduces enemy defenses on hit, an effect that even the wearer's summons can trigger. Huagian waves him off, reminding him that this service would normally cost a fortune and telling him to keep his piles of bones away in the future. He turns back toward his canvas, clearly ready to get back to his sketching. He pauses, his expression souring as he realizes Bai Yi has even more high-level gear waiting to be identified. He curses his own generosity, feeling like he's just been swindled into a mountain of free labor. Bai Yi pulls out a final, shimmering robe, and the old man's eyes go wide as he senses the power radiating from it. He asks in disbelief if the kid actually managed to find an epic-tier item. Knowing that an epic appraisal would normally be beyond his current means, Bai Yi tries to play it cool, though he's determined to make the most of this free opportunity. Huagian shakes his head, explaining that while he said he'd work for free, his current appraisal rank simply isn't high enough to identify an item of this magnitude. Bai Yi's jaw drops in genuine shock, having assumed that a master like Huagian would be able to handle anything he threw at him. Sensing the boy's disappointment, Huagian offers a compromise. He'll teach the kid the appraisal skill himself so he can do his own dirty work. Bai Yi's face lights up at the prospect of saving a fortune on future identification fees. Of course, there's a catch. The old man demands a tuition fee before he'll share his secrets. Bai Yi cautiously asks how much this education is going to cost him. Huagian flashes a cunning grin and holds up 3 fingers, demanding 500 of a very specific currency as payment. He produces a shimmering gold coin from thin air, explaining that he doesn't want regular currency, but the rare and out-of-circulation, ancient gold coins that collectors crave. Bai Yi looks at the coin thoughtfully, remembering his own unique ability to upgrade items. He realizes that if he applies a promotion to a standard gold coin, it will transform into the very antique the old man is looking for. A hidden quest window appears, tasking Bai Yi with collecting 500 of these coins in exchange for the basic appraisal skill. Huagian adds him to his friend list, telling him to return once the payment is ready. But after he had only taken a few steps, Bai Yi called him back. He turned around with an annoyed expression, wondering what else this kid was going to pull out to bother him again. Without a word, Bai Yi reaches into his inventory and slams a heavy sack of jingling metal onto the ground. He asks with a smirk if the old man thinks this will be enough to cover the bill. Huagian's composure completely shatters as he peers into the bag, his mouth hanging open at the sight of hundreds of perfectly preserved ancient coins. Seizing the moment, Bai Yi asks if the master is ready to start the lesson now that the tuition has been paid in full. Huagian accepts the payment, but immediately tosses out a follow-up challenge. If Bai Yi can bring him 10,000 more coins, he'll have an even bigger surprise waiting. A second hidden quest pops up, though the reward is currently listed as unknown. Bai Yi watches the eccentric NPC walk away, thinking that the old man is full of surprises. He's eager to see what other secrets he can unlock from this mysterious painter. Realizing that basic appraisal won't be enough to identify his epic robe, Bai Yi focuses his energy on the skill book in his hands. He decides it's time to push his limits and triggers a promotion on the skill itself. A pillar of light descends from the sky as the system announces his new hidden secondary profession, Intermediate Appraiser. He's learned the higher-tier skill, granting him a better chance at identifying rare gear. The golden energy washes over him, solidifying his new status. His success rate for dark gold items has jumped to 60%, though the epic robe still only has a 10% chance of success. Clad in his new gear, Bai Yi holds the mysterious red robe, praying that his improved skills will be enough to finally reveal its secrets. A loud buzzer sounds as the attempt fails instantly, a large 10% graphic appearing in the air as if to mock his bad luck. He refuses to give up, slamming his hands down as one failure notification after another pings in his vision. He grits his teeth, determined to break through that low success rate. After a dozen more failed attempts, Bai Yi collapses onto the grass in frustration, admitting defeat to the sheer stubbornness of the item's enchantment. Just as he's about to move on, a high-pitched chime rings out, announcing that he's discovered a wild treasure chest nearby. He shades his eyes and looks toward the horizon, spotting a distant flash of light on a mountain peak. He thinks that if it's a high-level chest, this could be his chance to strike it rich again. He approaches the edge of a valley and looks down, seeing a group of wolves prowling around a weathered tree stump. Resting right on top of the wood is a glowing silver chest, just waiting to be claimed. He focuses on the chest, a silver-trimmed box with a golden star at its center, sitting precariously on the old stump. He chuckles to himself, glad his instincts brought him this way. With a sharp command, Bai Yi summons his blue-flamed skeletons from the ground, the undead warriors ready to clear the path. He tells them it's time to get to work and claim the prize. The skeletal warriors strike with surgical precision, their blades carving through the wolves and dealing thousands of damage in single hits. High damage indicators flash over the beasts as they are systematically dismantled. The largest wolf in the pack throws its head back in a final, desperate howl, but the sheer power of the summons is overwhelming. Its cry is cut short as the skeletal warriors press their advantage. Dozens of wolves swarm around the weathered stump, snarling as they move to protect the silver treasure chest. Bai Yi watches from a distance, amused by the pack's attempt to gang up on him when he has his own small army. One of the skeletons, wreathed in flickering blue flames, stands ready for the slaughter. It seems to pulse with malevolent energy as Bai Yi challenges the pack to see who truly has the numerical advantage. With every swing of their heavy blades, the summons send wolves flying across the grass like ragdolls. The battle is one-sided, the elite predators of the prairie proving no match for the undead warriors. A wolf yelps in agony as a skeleton's fist connects, the impact spraying blood across the battlefield. The relentless assault leaves no room for the beasts to retaliate. The massive carcass of the prairie wolf king hits the dirt with a heavy thud, its life extinguished in a matter of seconds. The threat is neutralized before the rest of the pack can even coordinate an attack. A pillar of golden light descends upon Bai Yi as he levels up, his expression one of casual boredom. He remarks that the fight was over so quickly he didn't even have time to summon his full force of skeletons. System windows chime in rapid succession, detailing the massive experience gained from slaying the silver rank boss and its elite guards. Bai Yi pockets a substantial amount of gold and silver coins from the remains of the pack. Along with reaching level 10 and gaining 15 free attribute points, he is awarded the exclusive title, Far Ahead, for being the first player in the region to reach the milestone. He ignores the accolades for a moment, his eyes fixed on the silver chest ahead. As he walks through the aftermath of the battle, stepping past the fallen wolves, Bai Yi considers his unique ability. He wonders aloud if his promotion skill, which has worked so well on gear, could be applied to a wild treasure chest. A glint of curiosity shines in his eyes as he reaches the stump, a confident smirk playing on his lips. He decides it's definitely worth a shot to see just how far his luck can be pushed. He activates the skill, and the silver chest is immediately engulfed in a blinding flash of orange and white light. A system prompt rings out, confirming that the promotion was a success, leaving the chest radiating with even greater power. Chap 10, Bai Yi finds a gold-grade treasure chest and decides to see what's inside. A flash of golden light reveals a withered wood staff and a treasure map. He picks up the map, noticing it leads to another gold chest outside the novice village. A system alert chimes in. Since he's reached level 10, he has to leave the novice village or he won't be able to gain more experience. He decides to head for the village chief to leave, but first, he figures he might as well use his talent on the map. Promotion activates, turning it into a dark gold map for Jingli City. He realizes it's a long journey, so he'll have to save it for later. Somewhere else, Guildmaster Hongtu strikes a pose as his team returns from a dungeon run. An announcement echoes through the area, declaring the Hegemony Guild as the first to clear the hard difficulty dungeon. Hongtu is feeling high and mighty, immediately ordering his squad to gear up for nightmare difficulty. His celebration is cut short by a second announcement. Wealthy World's team has already snatched the first clear for nightmare difficulty. Hongtu is left speechless as Wealthy World walks by, laughing it off as just being lucky. His guildmates are frustrated. They can't believe White Knight is only selling his top-tier items to their rival. Hantu clenches his fist, his face turning red with anger. He vows to make White Knight pay for ignoring them. Wealthy World isn't wasting any time. She tells her group to take a quick break because they're going for Hell level next. A global announcement suddenly fills the air, catching everyone's attention across the entire zone. It's a massive shout-out to White Knight for being the very first player in the Blue Star Zone to reach level 10. The system unlocks the local leaderboard early, showing White Knight in a league of his own while everyone else trails behind at level 5. Hantu can only stare at the floating screen in shock, his rage boiling over at the sheer gap in their levels. Over in Wealthy World's camp, her teammates are freaking out. They can't wrap their heads around how he's leveling so fast. Wealthy World knows she made the right call. Now that they have the stones they needed, she's determined to stay on his good side. She tears a teleportation scroll, telling her crew to stay put while she handles some business. She catches up with Bai Yi in town, calling out to him with a big smile. She hands over the 10 life soul stones she promised from their first clear. She reminds him to keep her in mind the next time he gets his hands on something good. They shake on it, and the system confirms their trade deal is complete. Bai Yi tells her as long as she has the cash, he's got the gear. Wealthy World watches him leave, clearly pleased with how the partnership is going. Bai Yi gives a casual wave as he walks away, telling her to look him up again once she makes it out of the village. She's more certain than ever that building a relationship with him was her best move yet. The sky is clear as Bai Yi makes his way through the bustling village streets. He walks with purpose, ignoring the other players as he heads toward the center of town. He stops in front of a modest-looking building and confirms it's the place he was looking for. Inside, the novice village chief looks up, genuinely impressed. He didn't think any of the descenders would hit level 10 this early. Bai Yi doesn't waste any time. He tells the old man he's ready to leave the village and head to the city. The chief stands up, leaning on his cane. He tells Bai Yi to follow him, nodding that this land will belong to his kind soon enough. He opens a massive blue portal right in the middle of the room. He explains that their village is tied to East Sea City and tells Bai Yi to step through. He pulls up a map, showing that East Sea City is one of the 10 great main cities of the Divine Dragon Empire. Bai Yi steps into the portal as it begins to whisk him away. He thanks the chief and promises to return the favor if they ever cross paths again. Once the portal closes, the chief lets out a heavy sigh and slowly walks back to his chair. He looks out at the peaceful village, feeling a sense of dread. He knows that chaotic times are coming and many will likely perish. Meanwhile, Zhao Su and Lin Ruyan are on the move far away, keeping an eye on the latest global news. Zhao Su is skeptical. He asks Ruyan if she thinks this White Knight person could actually be the Su Mubai they thought they killed. Lin Ruyan just scoffs, a wicked smile playing on her lips. She doesn't care who he is. If he's strong, she's going to make sure he ends up in the palm of her hand. Zhao Su laughs along with her as the scene shifts to the towering walls of East Sea City, the next stage of Bai Yi's journey. Bai Yi steps out of the teleportation circle, taking in the bustling atmosphere of the city. He's impressed by how realistic everything feels, from the stone ground to the surrounding buildings. He wanders through the streets of East Sea City, noticing that leaving the novice village didn't come with any special rewards. It's just a transition into a much larger playground. Suddenly, his death scripture begins to glow, signaling a level increase. He's shocked to see that the book itself has kept pace with him, reaching level 10 alongside his character. He checks the updated stats of the scripture. It now provides a massive boost of 300 spell power and 100 to all attributes, while also doubling the damage dealt by his undead summons. The book's passive effects have evolved as well, including Soul Siphon, which allows him to absorb soul power from anything he or his minions kill. Even more terrifying, any player he kills will now suffer double death penalties, including a loss of lifespan. Bai Yi finds the new terms quite interesting. Having exclusive skills and the ability to impose double penalties makes his role as the Death Sovereign feel truly formidable. A system message flashes as he masters a new SSS rank skill called Death Gaze. Glowing golden runes erupt from the pages of the scripture, swirling around him as the power settles. He suddenly clutches his head, a sharp pain shooting through his mind. He describes it as a damnable, suffocating feeling of impending death pressing down on him. He quickly scans the skill details. Death Gaze deals massive true damage every second based on his spell power and inflicts a continuous fear effect on anyone caught in his stare. The sheer scale of the power leaves him breathless. He realizes that with his promotion trait, he's effectively become a walking executioner. Anyone he looks at is basically already dead. "Little guy, you are very lucky, but also very unlucky," a voice booms from behind. Bai spins around to see a towering figure with long, flowing hair enveloped in a warm, golden light. The man is Su Mubai, the city lord of East Sea City and an elder of the Divine Dragon Hall. He's so powerful that Bai can't even begin to gauge his level. Bai offers a respectful greeting, and Su Mubai immediately notes the heavy presence of death energy around him. He's surprised to find a sovereign-class profession in this forbidden land. Bai is taken aback that the city lord was able to see through his hidden profession so easily. He keeps his guard up as the powerful NPC continues to study him. Su Mubai presents him with a challenge, offering more information about the Death Sovereign if he can pass. A glowing green medal, the Medal of the Forgotten, appears between them as the test begins. A system prompt confirms he's accepted an epic grade mission called Su Mubai's Test. His objective is to clear out a place known as the Land of the Forgotten. He catches the medal as a dark portal of energy tears open nearby. He wonders if he just accidentally signed up for a suicide mission for free. A 5-minute countdown timer suddenly appears in his vision. Bai panics, cursing the system for not giving him any time to prepare or socket gems into his equipment. With the clock ticking, he sprints toward the source of the teleportation. He shouts out into the open air, desperately asking where the teleportation array for the mission is located. He barely makes it through before the timer hits 0, finding himself in a desolate wasteland. The system notifies him that the mission has officially started, and he has 72 hours to achieve 100% exploration. He stands alone in the middle of a vast, ruined desert under a pale, sickly sky. The mission is officially on, and the pressure to clear the area in time is weighing on him. Knowing he's far from safe in a place like this, he immediately begins summoning his minions. He'd rather have a small army protecting him than face the unknown alone. He checks the stats of his new skeleton mages. They are incredibly tanky with high spell power, and they've already mastered level 9 fireball spells that deal heavy magic damage. Seeing his forces ready for battle brings a smirk to his face. With these mages providing support, his total firepower is on a completely different level now. He rounds a corner and stops dead in his tracks. A massive horde of gray, hulking figures is rising from the sand right beneath his feet. These aren't just normal monsters, they're level 20 skeletons, and there are hundreds of them. The system labels them as weak existences, though their sheer numbers say otherwise. Bai doesn't hesitate for a second. He points toward the enemy horde and commands all his forces to launch a full-scale attack. His summons tear into the skeleton horde, but Bai is disappointed by the results. Even with a level gap bonus, these monsters are giving him way less experience than the bison back at the village. Since there are plenty of targets to go around, he decides it's the perfect time to test out his new toy. He focuses his energy, preparing to unleash Death Gaze. Massive, glowing eyes manifest in the sky, staring down with a terrifying intensity. Under the weight of his gaze, the level 20 skeletons are instantly disintegrated, massive true damage numbers popping up over the battlefield. He walks calmly through the remains of the horde, hands in his pockets. He's impressed that the skill could clear out an entire group in a single hit. He pauses for a moment, clapping his hands together as he thinks about his next move. He figures it's best to fill up his mana before moving deeper into the wasteland. He opens the death scripture to check his soul points, but finds them still at 0. He's confused, as he's certain he should have siphoned plenty of souls from that last group. "Who?" he calls out, sensing another presence nearby. A translucent blue figure emerges from the ground, surprising him. The spirit introduces himself as Road, one of the Forgotten. He's a level 20 elite soul form, completely immune to any physical damage. Rode explains that everyone in the land of the Forgotten is suffering from a curse that has locked their souls away. Bai Yi realizes this is why he hasn't been able to siphon anything and asks how the curse can be lifted. Rode points a finger toward a glowing green pillar in the distance. He tells Bai Yi that the source of the curse lies right over there. As they get closer, a massive wooden coffin appears, wrapped in heavy chains and radiating an eerie green aura. A ghostly face peeks out from the top, looking absolutely terrifying. Bai Yi and his minions approach the site, but he notices something strange. Even his undead summons seem to be shaking in fear as they get close to the chained box. The system identifies the object as a soul-locking coffin with a staggering 1 million health points. A warning hint advises him that destroying it will release a terrifying existence. Rode urges him on, telling him that this is the key to everything. Bai Yi looks at the chains, curious just how terrifying the creature inside could actually be. He doesn't hold back, pointing his finger at the coffin and ordering his minions to smash it to pieces. His summons lunge forward, unleashing their magic on the cursed container. Explosions rock the massive, soul-locking coffin as Bai Yi's minions unleash their attacks. The heavy chains rattle and snap under the pressure of the magic blasts. Through the smoke and debris, a pair of glowing yellow eyes stares out from within the shattered remains. A skeletal figure begins to pull itself free from the wreckage. Rode's ghostly face contorts in terror as he realizes what they've unleashed. Bai Yi stands his ground, looking on with a calm, analytical expression as the dust settles. The entity fully emerges, a towering half-frost lick named Neil. He's a level 20 dark gold grade boss with over 1.5 million health and devastating spell power. Neil floats in the air, surrounded by a swirling vortex of energy. He stares down at Bai Yi, his voice a rasping growl as he accuses the outsider of ruining his transformation. Rode is in a full-blown panic, his translucent form shrugging with fear. He shouts at Bai Yi to run immediately, terrified by the overwhelming power radiating from the boss. Neil ignores the ghost, his focus entirely on the thick death aura surrounding Bai Yi. He believes that by absorbing the energy from Bai Yi's body, he can finally complete his lick transformation. Bai Yi isn't intimidated in the slightest, a confident smirk playing on his lips. He points a finger forward, commanding his skeleton squad to charge and take down the oversized lick. Neil scoffs at the attempt, blocking the skeleton's strikes with his heavy chains. The impact causes sparks to fly, but the boss remains unmoved by the initial assault. With a single, powerful swing of his arm, Neil sends several of Bai Yi's skeletons flying across the wasteland. He mocks the quality of the summons, unimpressed by their lack of defense. Neil leaps into the air, his chains trailing behind him like whips. He roars with laughter, promising to smash every single one of the weak undead minions. But he never expected Bai Yi's troops to be so numerous, as arrows continued to rain down on him incessantly. Neil lands firmly, his skeletal face set in a grimace of annoyance. He can't understand how a mere mortal is capable of summoning so many undead. Explosions continue to bloom around him, but he remains protected behind a shimmering frost shield. He demands to know exactly who Bai Yi is and why he can summon such powerful creatures. His green eye fire flares with intensity as he prepares to escalate the fight. He's done playing around with the outsider's pawns. Neil raises his hands, summoning his own twisted servants from the earth. A thick greenish mist begins to seep from the ground as the reinforcements arrive. A massive horde of stitched-together abominations and a pack of ravenous ghouls crawl out of the sand. Their attributes are formidable, and their very presence seems to corrupt the surrounding air. Bai Yi pinches his nose as a foul, rotting stench washes over him. He complains about the terrible smell while his skeletons shift their focus to the new threats. Deciding he's seen enough, Bai Yi activates his new skill. His eyes glow with a piercing red light as he prepares to subject the lick to his death gaze. Neil's eyes go wide with shock as he feels his strength being drained away. Huge damage numbers pop up over his head, and a system prompt confirms that all his attributes have been slashed by 40%. Bai Yi watches the boss struggle, wondering if his death-sovereign profession has naturally elevated his life level above the creatures of this world. Weakened and desperate, Neil falls to one knee, clutching at his chest as his health bar plummets into the red. He can't believe he's being overwhelmed by someone so much lower in level. Seizing the opportunity, Bai Yi's skeletons lunge forward, hacking away at the stunned abomination. The battlefield is a chaotic mess of bone and steel as they press the advantage. Bai Yi points toward the remaining ghouls, his expression cold and ruthless. He commands his minions to wipe them all out and leave nothing standing. Neil screams in agony as the final blow connects, his body disintegrating into ash. He laments his fate, refusing to accept that he will be forgotten in this wasteland. A massive orb of soul energy erupts from the fallen boss, flowing directly into Bai Yi. A flurry of system messages confirms his victory and his jump to level 12. Bai Yi clenches his fist, feeling the surge of new power coursing through him. He's satisfied with the outcome, glad that the fight was resolved so quickly. He walks over to where Neil fell and picks up a glowing gold item. It's a fragment of a cursed crown, a dark gold grade piece of equipment. The item is only 1/7 of the complete crown, and it carries a heavy penalty of constant death energy erosion. He examines the jagged, golden shard with a critical eye. He sighs, annoyed that the boss was so stingy with the loot. Still, he knows that a repaired epic-grade item will be worth the effort, so he tucks the fragment away for later. Road is practically bouncing with excitement, his eyes shining with admiration. He praises Bai Yi for granting Neil release and urges him to go save the next person trapped in the wasteland. The ghost points the way, mentioning that the next trial might not be as easy as the last. Bai Yi follows along, his interest piqued by the prospect of more experience points. He gives Road a skeptical look, questioning what the ghost means by not easy. He's confident that whatever is ahead won't be much of a match for his power. Road smiles and tells him not to worry, revealing that he has a special reward for their success. He pulls out an old, weathered scroll from his spectral robes. He hands the skill book over to Bai Yi as a token of gratitude. Bai Yi takes it, asking why the ghost didn't just give it to him earlier if he had it the whole time. It's a manual for corpse explosion, an area of effect damage skill. Bai Yi grins, immediately seeing the potential for mass destruction and deciding to promote it right away. A system prompt announces the successful promotion of the skill to Advanced Corpse Explosion, now a B-rank ability. It deals massive magic damage based on the target corpse's maximum health. Spotting a nearby carcass, Bai Yi decides to give the new skill a test run. He points at the body as the air begins to hum with volatile energy. A colossal explosion erupts from the remains, sending a pillar of fire and smoke high into the sky. The blast area is enormous, far exceeding his expectations for a B-rank skill. Bai Yi laughs heartily, thrilled by the raw power of the explosion. He's impressed that the range and damage are both so significantly boosted. Road continues to shower him with praise, calling him the strongest and most invincible man he's ever seen. Bai Yi just dismisses the flattery, eager to get back to grinding now that he has a proper AoE skill. 1 hour later, Bai Yi has cleared a significant portion of the map with his army of skeletons trailing behind. They eventually come across another, forgotten, entity named Walter, who is bound in chains within a deep crater. Bai Yi stands over the massive crater, looking down at his next target with a calm, calculating gaze. He notes that including this one, he has found exactly 7 of the forgotten entities. He reaches out a hand, activating his advanced corpse explosion skill on the bound boss below. A volatile red energy begins to swirl around the chained figure of Walter. Walter's skeletal face contorts in a scream of agony as the explosion erupts, engulfing him in a pillar of dark fire. He rails against the impossibility of his death, warning Bai Yi that a terrible price will eventually be paid for this deed. As the smoke clears, a golden glow catches Bai Yi's eye among the remains of the crater. He walks toward the center, where a small, jagged shard of metal lies on the scorched ground. He picks up the final fragment, a satisfied smirk crossing his face. With all 7 fragments finally in his possession, he decides it's time to see what kind of powerful equipment they can create when synthesized together. Road's ghostly form flickers with intense fear as he shouts a desperate warning. He begs Bai Yi not to forge the cursed object, terrified that the pure death energy within it will erode his very soul. Bai Yi ignores the ghost's pleas and initiates the synthesis, causing a blinding explosion of golden light to erupt from his palms. The fragments merge and reshape themselves into a completed, ornate crown. The newly formed cursed crown floats in the air, radiating a dark and ancient power. A system notification confirms that Bai Yi has successfully repaired the legendary grade item, though the overall exploration of the area has only reached 50%. Rode stares at the crown with wide, trembling eyes, muttering that everything is over. Bai Yi remains focused, observing the item's level increase and realizing that more monsters must still be lurking in the unexplored parts of the wasteland. Rode rushes forward, his voice cracking as he implores Bai Yi to throw the crown away immediately. He warns that the lingering death energy will consume him, turning him into nothing more than a mindless, walking corpse. Despite the ghost's frantic efforts to pull him away, Bai Yi holds onto the crown as a series of system prompts flash before his eyes. While the artifact attempts to erode him with death energy, his unique constitution allows him to safely store the excess power, rendering the curse completely harmless to him. Bai Yi stands ready with his skeleton squad. Rode is already panicking, wondering if an even more terrifying enemy is about to show up. The ground splits open as thick, white soul energy starts pouring out of a dark abyss. Something huge is definitely trying to claw its way back to the surface. Rode's eyes widen in pure terror as he recognizes the energy. He's completely losing his mind over whatever is coming out of that hole. A massive, ornate coffin decorated with gold and purple rises from the cracked earth. A system message flashes. The aura of the cursed crown has awakened the Lick Franklin. Rode is practically begging now, asking Bai Yi to kill the beast Franklin no matter the cost. He's willing to pay anything just to see the monster dead. A system prompt confirms Rode is a friendly unit, the remnant soul of a former mayor. Bai Yi gives a casual nod, deciding he'll take on the request. The unique hidden mission pops up, kill the Lick Franklin. Bai Yi also gets a nice 20% spirit buff just for accepting the task. Franklin finally shows himself, a skeletal figure draped in tattered black robes with blue flames flickering in his empty eye sockets. The Lick is an epic grade boss at level 20 with 15 million HP. Even in a serious injury state, he's still putting off a massive amount of pressure. Franklin towers over the battlefield, sensing the power of his repaired crown. He looks down at Bai Yi, surprised a mere human actually managed to survive this long. The Lick reaches out a skeletal hand, commanding his crown to return to its rightful master immediately. Bai Yi just stares him down with a smug look on his face. He isn't planning on letting go of his new legendary loot anytime soon. The stats for the cursed crown are insane. It's a legendary grade item that Bai Yi can forcefully equip as the Death Sovereign. He slides the crown onto his head, grinning as he feels the massive boost to his mana and defense. It fits like it was made for him. Enraged, Franklin summons his own legion. Portals tear open as shadow knights on undead horses charge out to meet Bai Yi's skeletons. Bai Yi realizes an epic boss's minions are on a whole different level than what he's used to. He doesn't back down, though, ordering his skeleton squad to charge right back. The front lines collide in a spray of bone and shadow. One of Bai Yi's skeletons swings its blade, shattering a knight's shield with a heavy blow. Bai Yi raises his staff and activates his curse aura. A wave of dark energy pulses out, putting a massive speed debuff on everything nearby. His skeleton mages follow up with a barrage of white fireballs that rain down on the enemy cavalry from above. The field erupts into chaos as spells fly everywhere. Bai Yi mocks the Shadow Knights, telling them they're crawling like snails under his curse. Franklin is starting to lose his cool. He stares at the battlefield, unable to believe his elite knights are being pushed back so easily. Bai Yi checks his status and realizes his attributes have nearly doubled since he entered this area. The cursed crown is doing wonders for his power level. Franklin has seen enough and decides to handle things himself, diving through the air with his staff raised high. Bai Yi doesn't even flinch as the Lick closes in. He just looks up and tells the monster to give it his best shot. He triggers his Death Gaze skill, and a massive seal appears under Franklin. The Lick is suddenly hit with an agony curse, draining his health every second. A massive explosion of energy sends Franklin crashing back into the dirt. The impact is so hard it leaves a crater in the wasteland. The Lick struggles to push himself up, his skeletal jaw hanging open in shock. He can't wrap his head around how a human is doing this to him. Bai stands over him, cold and detached. He tells the monster he doesn't need to know his name before he dies. Franklin is seething with rage, feeling deeply insulted that a wretched human would dare to talk down to a great Lick like him. He leaps backward to widen the distance. He raises his staff high, gathering every ounce of dark energy left in his body for one final, desperate attack. A swirling vortex of blue energy starts to form above Franklin's head, sucking up sand and debris from all around the battlefield. The storm intensifies, shredding anything caught in the path of the wind. It looks like the Lick is ready to level the entire area. Franklin screams for his power to seize the human, channeling the massive energy sphere directly at his opponent. A blinding flash of purple light erupts from the Lick's chest as he pulls out his ultimate trump card. The name KACUS flashes across the screen in blood-red text. The ground trembles as something massive starts to emerge from the shadows. A giant undead bone dragon pulls itself out of the earth, its massive ribcage glowing with eerie blue light as it lets out a silent roar. Even Bai Yi has to admit the difficulty of this trial is hitting a new peak. Summoning a bone dragon is a serious move, even for an epic boss. The dragon, Cacus, opens its maw and lets loose a devastating beam of frost energy that cuts across the wasteland. Bai Yi doesn't panic. He orders his skeletons to cluster together and reinforce their defenses to tank the hit. Franklin watches from the sidelines, convinced the battle is over. He's stunned when he sees a simple skeleton warrior actually standing its ground against his dragon's breath. Bai Yi reveals his trick. He used siphon feedback to dump all his death energy into one skeleton, boosting its stats by a ridiculous 640%. He's even using the crown's negative effects to his advantage, treating the death energy erosion like a walking power bank to fuel his reinforced summons. Bai Yi smirks, ready to turn the tables. He's done playing defense and is about to show the Lick exactly what happens when you underestimate him. Explosions rip through the air as Franklin screams in frustration. The Lick is losing his grip on the battle, and he knows it. Franklin slams his staff down, conjuring a frost hell that sends jagged ice spikes erupting from the ground to freeze the area. A massive beam of blue energy, the death ray, blasts straight into Bai Yi, knocking him back with a violent force. Franklin cackles, convinced his ultimate spell has finally snuffed out the fragile human before him. Bai Yi stands his ground, completely unfazed by the lethal energy. Franklin's jaw drops as he realizes the human used life sharing to keep himself alive. Franklin isn't done yet, quickly regrouping and looking for a way to break through that link. He knows every skill has a weakness he can exploit. The Lick raises his staff, summoning a giant energy rose that pulses with death and decay. The aura is suffocating, designed to rot anything within its reach. Jagged pillars of bone and blue lightning surge up around Bai Yi, forming a bone prison to pin him down for the final strike. The ground beneath Bai Yi's feet shatters as a bone spike hell erupts. It's a relentless onslaught of AoE damage meant to overwhelm his defenses. Bai Yi realizes the Lick is trying to kill all his linked skeletons at once to break the life sharing. He needs a quick plan before his summons are wiped out. With a sharp command, he recalls all his unreinforced skeletons to the summon space. He's narrowing the link down to just his strongest unit to survive the barrage. Bai Yi breaks into a sprint, heading straight for the Lick while the bone spikes are still firing. He knows the only way to stop the chaos is to take out the leader directly. Franklin is visibly shaken, unable to believe the human is charging through his most powerful spells. He raises his staff, but he's clearly panicking now. Damage numbers flash around Bai Yi as he tanks the peripheral hits. He tells himself to hold on just a little longer. The finish line is right in front of him. Franklin starts to dissolve into shadow as his mana fails. Even as he fades, he spits out a curse, convinced the human will still lose in the end. Bai Yi doesn't let up, consuming his stored death energy points to trigger one final reinforcement on his skeleton. A massive glowing skeleton warrior looms over the crumbling Lick. Franklin looks up in horror, realizing his time has officially run out. A spectral blade plunges into Franklin's skull, silencing the lick for good. The dark energy that fueled him finally disperses into the wasteland. Franklin's eyes flicker out as his soul is extinguished. The master of the Forgotten Land has been defeated. A golden light bathes Baiyi as the system confirms the kill. He's flooded with an insane amount of experience, jumping straight to level 17 in an instant. Cacus the Bone Dragon collapses as well, adding another massive chunk of EXP to the pile. Baiyi's level shoots up again, hitting 19 as the battlefield clears. The rewards are staggering, but the biggest prize is the stack of 50 life soul stones. Baiyi glows with level-up energy, finally securing his immediate future. He looks down at the stones in his hand and immediately uses his promotion talent on them. They transform into advanced life soul stones, each worth a full year of life. As he absorbs the stones, a golden aura swirls around him, signifying his lifespan has been extended by 50 years. The immediate threat of death is finally gone. A global announcement echoes through the game world, nomming White Knight as the first player to solo an epic grade boss. The entire server is put on notice. Back in Civilization, other players are stunned by the news. A blonde man, the leader of a top guild, decides right then and there that he needs to get on Baiyi's good side. Lin Ruyan and Zhao Su watch the announcement with very different expressions. While Zhao Su is frustrated, Ruyan is already plotting to use her charms to bring White Knight under her thumb. Baiyi checks the rest of his loot and finds an epic dragon bone pendant. It's a rare mount item that allows him to summon an undead bone dragon of his own. He reads over the description, noting that the mount is epicrank. It's powerful, but he's already thinking about how to make it even better. Without hesitation, he triggers his promotion skill on the pendant. The golden light flares, and the system confirms the upgrade was a success. The pendant has been transformed into a legendary frost war horn. Now, instead of a simple bone dragon, he can summon a legendary rank frost giant dragon. Baiyi raises the horn to his lips and blows a deep, resonant note. A massive glowing circle appears on the ground, cracking the wasteland as something legendary awakens. A swirling blue portal tears open in the center of the circle, radiating intense cold. The atmosphere of the area changes instantly as the gate to the undead realm opens. Baiyi has to shield his eyes as a dense wave of death aura pours out of the rift. The sheer pressure of the summon is unlike anything he's felt before. A massive armored claw slams down onto the earth, shattering the stone. Whatever is coming through that portal is absolutely enormous. The frost giant dragon fully emerges, its skeletal frame wreathed in blue flames and ice. It looks down at Baiyi, its voice booming as it questions the strength of its new summoner. Suddenly, a pillar of purifying light strikes the dragon from above. It roars in surprise as the holy energy washes over its dark frame. Baiyi watches in confusion as the light seems to bind the beast. The dragon's tone shifts instantly, calling him master as it yields to the contract. The massive dragon kneels before him, officially becoming his mount. A system message confirms he's obtained the legendary frost giant dragon. Another global announcement rings out, revealing that Baiyi has obtained a mount and triggering the early opening of the mount leaderboard. A miniature version of the dragon perches on his shoulder as the leaderboard updates. Baiyi sits at the very top, leaving the rest of the server in the dust. The system window displays the overwhelming stats of the frost giant dragon, a mythic rank mount. It boasts massive HP and spell power, with passive skills that intimidate anything with a lower life level than itself. Baiyi stares in awe at the miniature dragon resting on his forearm, feeling the raw energy radiating from the creature. He can't believe the stats on a level 0 mythic rank beast. Out in the open world, players huddle around their screens in disbelief as a new mount leaderboard appears. They can only watch in envy as White Knight claims the top spot with a legendary creature they can barely comprehend. A group of adventurers laughs together, trying to reconcile how someone with a supposed F-rank talent is dominating the game. They find comfort in mocking his low level, unaware of the power he's actually amassing. Road, the blue-glowing remnant soul of a soldier, appears in the wasteland and signals to Baiyi. He's finally located Franklin's soul casket, the key to ending the Lick's existence forever. Road points toward a cluster of trees in the distance, urging Bai Yi to hurry. They need to finish this before the Lick can recover his strength. The dense, skeletal trees of the wasteland loom over the path, their dark branches reaching into a hazy sky. It's a silent, oppressive atmosphere as they approach the Lick's final secret. They find the ornate black soul casket half buried in the dirt, pulsing with malevolent purple energy. The system identifies it as Franklin's most prized artifact, the source of his immortality. Bai Yi's eyes go wide as he reads the item's description. The soul casket has a staggering 1 million durability. It's a formidable barrier designed to keep the Lick safe for eternity. Road turns to Bai Yi, his ghostly face set with a grim determination. He asks to handle the casket himself, seeking personal vengeance for the town Franklin destroyed. As Road channels his power into the casket, Franklin's spirit erupts from the artifact in a scream of pure agony. The ghost soldier roars that the clansmen Franklin devoured will finally have their justice. With a final, crushing blow, Road shatters the casket into pieces, silencing Franklin's soul forever. He offers a prayer of thanks to Sunset Town as the dark energy finally dissipates into the wind. Road stands before the broken ruins of the casket, tears of relief streaming down his ghostly face. His long-held burden has finally been lifted, and he offers a final word of gratitude to Bai Yi. System notifications flood Bai Yi's vision, announcing a massive influx of gold, items, and experience. He's reached level 20, completed several legendary quests, and finished his trial in record time. The dusty wasteland fades away as the scene shifts to the bright, clear sky above East Sea City. The teleportation square sits empty, waiting for the first player to arrive. Bai Yi steps through a swirling portal into the heart of the silent city, a satisfied smirk on his face. He realizes he's the only player at a high enough level to walk these streets. The frost giant dragon perches on his shoulder, chirping quietly as Bai Yi looks around the empty plaza. He decides it's the perfect time to give his new mount a proper test run. Bai Yi extends his hand and calls for the dragon to reveal its true form. Blue flames and swirling wind erupt around him as the summoning circle begins to glow with legendary power. The massive dragon slams down onto the pavement, its claws gouging the stone as it lets out a silent roar. Bai Yi stands tiny before the beast, ready to head to the city lord's manor. With a powerful beat of its wings, the frost giant dragon takes to the air, casting a huge shadow over the pristine buildings of East Sea City. The wind from its ascent ripples through the empty city square. They land near the city lord's hall, the dragon's massive frame dwarfing the architecture. Bai Yi dismounts, focused on turning in the final part of Sidu Jai's trial. High on a balcony, Sidu Jai, an ancient city lord with long silver hair and beard, watches the dragon's approach. He wears noble purple robes and admits to himself that the young adventurer has far exceeded his expectations. Bai Yi walks across the stone terrace towards the city lord, his footsteps echoing in the quiet air. He calls out to Sidu Jai, ready to present the results of his mission. Sidu Jai turns toward him, gesturing for the massive dragon to shrink down before they move inside. The legendary beast complies, transforming back into its smaller form on Bai Yi's shoulder. Inside the manor, Sidu Jai laughs heartily, nodding that his home wasn't built to withstand the aura of a mythic creature. He looks at Bai Yi with newfound respect, realizing how much the young man has accomplished. Sidu Jai walks toward an ornate table, his long silver hair flowing as he speaks. He observes that Bai Yi's class isn't just a standard power level, but something much more significant. Bai Yi takes a seat across from the city lord, curious about the hidden mechanics of the world's classes. He asks if there are different tiers even among the most elite professions. A system alert pings in Bai Yi's mind, confirming the completion of the quest, Sidu Jai's trial. He's briefly annoyed to find there's no immediate reward listed on the screen. Sidu Jai explains the hierarchy of classes, starting from common and moving up through hidden and unique tiers. He illustrates his point with a shadowed image of powerful legendary warriors. He reveals that the Death Dominator class is the highest possible tier, an exclusive hidden class that normally shouldn't be accessible at such a low level. It's a breakthrough that leaves even the city lord puzzled. Bai keeps his gaze steady, hiding his inner thoughts about his unique promotion system. He knows better than to reveal the secret behind his unprecedented growth. Sidujai leans in, his expression turning serious as he warns that a stronger class requires more sacrifice to advance. He tells Bai that to truly master the Death Dominator class, he must experience death itself. He unrolls a map of the divine Forbidden Land, where fires are already beginning to break out across the different territories. He warns that a war is coming that will engulf the entire world. Sidujai speaks of the Shenlong Hall, the guardians of the empire who hope to unify the fractured nations to prepare for the coming conflict. He asks if the human race can truly earn its place among all the worlds. Bai looks up in surprise, nodding that the national borders are still sealed by the system. He wonders how he's expected to involve himself in such a grand conflict so early. Sidujai points to a letter and a photograph resting on the table near the tea set. He instructs Bai to find this specific person and deliver the message personally. Bai picks up the photo of a stern-looking man named Huagian, a new system contract appearing in front of him. He's now officially tied to the Shenlong Hall, with heavy consequences if he breaks his word. Sidujai promises that once Bai reaches his third advancement, he will personally recommend him for a place within the hall. He gestures toward one final gift on the table. The city lord hands over a small, glowing green token, telling Bai it will grant him free passage and a place to stay within East Sea City. Bai bows his head in thanks for the unexpected generosity. Bai holds up the East Sea Order 7 token, a satisfied grin spreading across his face. He's thrilled to realize he now owns high-value property in one of the game's first-tier cities. Sidujai tells Bai that as long as he's holding that token, he has the freedom to do whatever he wants in East Sea City. The protagonist's eyes flare red as he asks the one thing on his mind, if he's allowed to kill people. Sidujai is visibly shaken by the question, nervously asking who exactly he's planning to take out. Bai just smirks, thinking of the 2 traitors whose shadows are already looming over his list of targets. He calls out his skeletal dragon and takes to the skis, leaving the palace far behind. Looking down at the sprawling landscape, he admits the city is actually pretty impressive in scale. He arrives at the gates of a massive estate, only for the guards to cross their spears and block his path. He casually dangles the 7 token in front of them, and the guards' eyes nearly pop out of his head. The attitude shift is instant. They bow deeply and welcome Lord White Knight to his new home. He strolls into the courtyard, which is packed with fountains and high-end architecture. A system prompt asks for a name, so he officially dubs the place the White Knight Courtyard. The mansion is now set as his personal teleport and resurrection point, giving him a massive strategic advantage. Bai heads inside, satisfied to find the place is already fully furnished and ready for him to move in. He kicks back on a plush sofa, deciding it's finally time to learn some new skills while he rests. He pulls out a dark, skull-bound tome and drops a cool 1,000 soul points to unlock it. He picks up an SSS rank skill called Death Domain Leap, which lets him move through the realm of death as he dictates. It's exactly what he was missing, a high-level movement skill to keep him untouchable in a fight. He stands up to give it a test run, opening a swirling blue void right in the middle of the room. Just as he touched the portal, he instantly vanished from the sealed room. He instantly appears at the gates of his estate, leaving the guard in total shock, but the protagonist tells him to relax since he's just testing out his new powers. He wonders if he can use the skill to drop his undead legion directly from the summoning space to any point. Thinking that, he immediately puts it to the test. A horde of skeletal warriors begins pouring out of the portal, proving his theory correct. It's even stronger than he imagined, though he's a bit annoyed that since this is an SSS rank skill, it can't be promoted any further. Base established and skills tested, he decides to head back out and exchange some of his loot for pocket money. He finishes a trade with a local shopkeeper, who practically begs him to bring back more rare stones. The young man walks away with a heavy sack of gold, leaving the merchant bowing in the dust behind him. Flipping a few mid-tier stones banked him over 200,000 gold, and his next stop is the auction house, He strolls through the city, passing the high-end commercial district as he heads toward his destination. The interior of the auction house is dripping with gold and luxury, a clear sign that only the elite hang out here. A receptionist in a sharp suit stops him at the red carpet, explaining that the second floor is a restricted area. She warns him that even the cheapest tickets go for 1,000 gold, while VIP admission hits a whopping 100,000. He just holds up his City Lord token, and she immediately recognizes him as a distinguished guest. She quickly hands over a special VIP card, realizing she's dealing with someone very important. Bai Yi is surprised to find out that because of his token, the premium treatment here is completely free. She mentions he gets a 50% discount on all fees, and even a massive interest-free loan of 10,000 soul coins. The coins are incredibly valuable, each one worth 10,000 gold or a full hour of a person's lifespan. She explains that they are finely minted from time energy extracted by powerful individuals. Bai Yi pulls out some glowing gems and asks if they can be traded for this high-end currency. She tells him each level 1 radiant gem is worth about 10 coins, and his VIP status keeps his commission fee at just 5%. He hands her the entire batch to auction off, wanting to stack up as many soul coins as possible. As he starts walking up the stairs, a system notification pings with a new message. Back at the city's teleportation plaza, a massive portal begins to flare with light as people gather around it. A young mage with a large witch hat looks around in awe, wondering where they can meet the legendary Lord White Knight in this massive city. Up in the sky, a massive skeletal dragon circles the buildings, leaving the crowd of players absolutely stunned by the sight. The travelers stare upward, wondering when they'll finally be strong enough to tame a mount as powerful as a frost dragon. Immediately after the dragon lands, Wealthy World and her teammates recognize it's Bai Yi right away. Wealthy World thanks him for the gear he sold them, unable to hide her shock at the fact that his leveling speed is leaving even the top guilds in the dust. She hands over a heavy sack of coins as their final payment, while Bai Yi prepares to head off on his own. He starts to walk away, but the woman stops him, asking for just another moment of his time. Wealthy World pulls out a mysterious scroll, certain that an item this rare will definitely pique his interest. It's a scroll of destiny, a legendary-grade gambling item that offers incredible rewards for those brave enough to roll the dice. The protagonist is intrigued and casually asks for the price, ready to add another powerful tool to his inventory. She surprises him by saying the item isn't for sale, leaving him wondering what her real game is. Wealthy World explains that she's looking for something more than gold. She wants a deep and lasting cooperation with him. Their conversation is cut short as a man in heavy armor steps through a glowing portal right beside them. Chapter 16. The woman reiterates that the legendary scroll is off the table for any simple trade. She clarifies that her interest lies in establishing a long-term partnership with the top player in the game. Guildmaster Hongtu is shocked to see that Bai Yi and Wealthy World's group have already reached East Sea City before him. Hongtu hopes that the two individuals he just partnered with can handle Bai Yi. A couple of players celebrate finally making it out of the novice village, completely unaware of the tension nearby. Bai Yi senses his targets and immediately summons a wall of skeletal warriors to surround the entire plaza. He commands his minions to lock down the teleportation area, making sure no one can leave without his permission. The onlookers are paralyzed with fear, staring at the elite skeletons and wondering why Lord White Knight is taking such drastic measures. The trapped players begin to panic as they realize their attributes are being drained just by standing near the summons. Bai Yi raises a hand and tells everyone to stay calm, explaining that they'll only be allowed to exit one by one. One arrogant player isn't having it and tries to talk back, insulting the protagonist for playing God in a main city. A sudden shockwave erupts through the air as the disrespectful player is silenced in an instant. The man is sent tumbling backward, with the crowd whispering in terror that he just lost years of his precious lifespan. Bai Yi looks over the crowd with a cold, piercing gaze, asking if anyone else has a problem with his orders. With the frost dragon circling overhead and skeletons on the ground, The lockdown of the plaza is absolute. Satisfied with the compliance, he orders the process to begin so he can find the two people he's looking for. A line of nervous players begins to file past the skeletal guards under Bai Yi's watchful eye. Lin Ruyan and Zhao Su finally make their appearance, walking through the portal as the crowd whispers about these famous big shots. They freeze in place when they realize the man standing before them is the same one they thought they had killed. Bai Yi recognizes their voices immediately, a dark smile playing on his face as his targets finally deliver themselves to him. Zhao Su leans in and tells Lin Ruyan that their future in the game depends entirely on her handling this situation. She immediately puts on a fake show of grief, crying out his name as if she's been desperately searching for him all along. The surrounding crowd scatters as quickly as they can, terrified of being caught in the middle of this high-stakes confrontation. Lin Ruyan runs toward him, acting like she's overjoyed at the coincidence of finding him in such a large city. Zhao Su forces a smile and shamelessly claims they've been looking everywhere for him since the novice village. He tries to sound sincere, completely unaware that Bai Yi is remembering the cold moment Zhao Su betrayed him. Bai Yi doesn't waste any more words and coldly orders his minions to teach the traitor a painful lesson. Zhao Su's face turns pale as he realizes his fake pleasantries won't save him from the looming skeleton. The skeletal warriors hack into him mercilessly, as Bai Yi tells him this is the proper way to repay his loyalty. Lin Ruyan is left speechless with horror as she watches her partner being slaughtered right in front of her eyes. Bai Yi stands over a terrified Zhao Su, his voice cold as he asks how it felt to experience death for the first time. Zhao Su stammers, trying to claim everything was just a huge misunderstanding. A dark, swirling blue aura erupts from Bai Yi as his eyes glow a murderous red. He stares down at his former friend, asking if he's ready to experience that feeling all over again. With a single, blinding flash of energy, Zhao Su is obliterated once more. The force of the strike leaves only a fatting silhouette where the man once stood. A system notification pings, confirming that Zhao Su has been wiped out by White Knight. Bai Yi slowly turns his gaze toward Lin Ruyan, telling her that she is next. Lin Ruyan trembles, her face pale as she tries to play the victim, claiming she was just a little scared. Internally, she wonders in panic just how much Bai Yi truly knows about their betrayal. Wealthy World approaches Bai Yi and urges him to finish up quickly before the city guards arrive to investigate the massive commotion. A heavy squad of armored city guards marches into the plaza, their leader remarking that Lord White Knight's little demonstration has been a bit too loud for the public's comfort. Bai Yi looks over his shoulder and tells Wealthy World and the others to head out first, promising to contact them later once he finishes his personal business. Wealthy World gives a quick nod and prepares to depart. He offers a brief apology to the guards for the trouble he's caused in the plaza. He assures them that he has already found the targets he was looking for and that the disturbance is coming to an end. Bai Yi raises his hand toward the sky, summoning a massive portal that crackles with magical energy. Behind him, the colossal wings of his skeletal dragon dominate the horizon. He grabs Lin Ruyan and drags her along, telling her that they aren't done playing yet. He forces her toward the city's resurrection hall, determined to continue his revenge. A high-ranking city guard watches the skeletal dragon fly away, sighing as he realizes the young man is about to cause even more chaos at the resurrection hall. The commander orders his men to follow Bai Yi to the downtown area to maintain order, warning them not to interfere unless absolutely necessary. Inside the hall, Zhao Su gasps as he successfully resurrects, his body trembling from the loss of 10 years of his lifespan. He clutches his chest, coughing and cursing Bai Yi's name with every breath. Bai Yi strides into the resurrection hall, dragging a pleading Lin Ruyan behind him. He coldly tells her that she'll have plenty of time to explain herself very soon. Zhao Su is horrified to find Bai Yi waiting for him the moment he returns to life. Bai Yi mockingly asks him how it felt to die, while Zhao Su can only stammer in absolute terror. Lin Ruyan drops to her knees and begins to cry, shamelessly blaming Zhao Su for everything that happened. She begs Bai Yi to remember their 5 years together, hoping to spark some mercy in his heart. Bai Yi looks down at her with pure disgust, agreeing that it's time to return everything from those 5 years. He points a finger at the woman and orders his skeletal warriors to kill her. Lin Ruyan screams for mercy as a skeletal warrior's blade swings down toward her. The sound of her desperate pleas is cut short by the cold, sharp strike of the undead. Standing with his back to her, Bai Yi remains unmoved by her suffering. The weight of his revenge begins to settle as the air in the resurrection hall grows thick with the scent of death. He repeats his cold command, calling her a snake-hearted woman as he returns all the pain she caused him. The cycle of death continues as he shows no sign of slowing down. Lin Ruyan is struck again, her screams echoing through the hall as she faces the consequences of her betrayal. Bai Yi watches with a detached, freezing gaze. Zhao Su watches the slaughter with wide, unblinking eyes, realizing that his turn is coming up next. He can only watch in silence as the woman he conspired with falls again. Zhao Su collapses into a full kowtow, begging for his life and admitting he was wrong. He pleads with Bai Yi for a shred of mercy, tears streaming down his face. Bai Yi tilts his head slightly, his expression devoid of any sympathy as he asks if that's all the man has to say. He looks down at the pathetic sight of his former friend with utter contempt. He commands Zhao Su to trust in fate as a pillar of dark energy descends upon him. The force of the attack crushes the man into the floor, ending his life yet again. Lin Ruyan's body lies motionless on the ground nearby, a reminder of the price of betrayal. Bai Yi stands alone in the hall, knowing the 30-minute timer for their automatic resurrection has begun. The two corpses of the traitors lie side by side on the cold tiles. Bai Yi remarks that this adulterous couple is finally getting exactly what they deserve for what they did to him. Half an hour later, Lin Ruyan gasps back to life, another 10 years of her lifespan stripped away. She crawls toward Bai Yi, begging for her life and claiming she will truly die if she's killed one more time. Bai Yi's face is a mask of pure rage as he looms over her. He asks her if she looked this pathetic when she pulled his oxygen tube out in the real world. With a powerful kick, he sends her flying across the room, telling her that even killing her would dirty his hands. He calls her a snake and a scorpion before telling her to get out of his sight forever. Bai Yi takes a deep, steadying breath as he feels the weight of his grudge finally lift. He stands tall in the center of the hall, ready to finally begin his journey into the Myriad Worlds. The city guards approach him cautiously, asking if he is finished with his business. Bai Yi confirms that the punishment is over and apologizes for the trouble before the guards begin to withdraw. He looks up at the bright blue sky, a faint smile of relief touching his lips as he exhales. He sets his sights on the future, planning to gather enough gold to upgrade his equipment and truly make a name for himself. Bai Yi steps out of a massive blue portal in the middle of a bustling city square. He walks with a calm, confident stride as citizens mill about in the background. He looks over a list while holding a heavy sack of gold. Running between 10 different cities for trade is starting to feel like a massive waste of his time. A message pops up from Wealthy World asking for a meeting. He grins, figuring she's exactly the solution he needs for his time management problem. He heads to a massive, ornate estate that looks more like a palace than a residence. The architecture is grand, dripping with wealth and status. Inside, he joins Wealthy World for a high-end dinner at a table that's definitely overkill for just 2 people. She doesn't waste time and says she wants to be straightforward. She knows her combat skills are lacking, but she's confident that no one can touch her when it comes to turning a profit. She wants to set up a chamber of commerce with his backing. She pours more wine, emphasizing that with his raw power and her financial sense, they'll be unstoppable in this world. The ambition in her eyes is clear. He leans back and declines a standard partnership, but offers a different deal. He needs an agent to handle the dirty work of business for him. He reaches into his inventory and pulls out a bag of glowing purple crystals, letting the hum of their power fill the room. Wealthy World stares at the pile of resources, her jaw practically hitting the floor. She's never seen this kind of wealth just handed over so casually. He explains his unique talent. He can consume resources to upgrade any item by an entire grade. It's a game-breaking ability that makes gold irrelevant. She's stunned by the existence of such a broken talent. He offers her a 1% profit cut if she handles all his commercial affairs from now on. She counters, asking for 10 million gold coins to complete her profession's hidden class change. It's a staggering amount that almost sounds like a joke. To prove her loyalty, she offers to sign a soul contract where she only keeps 5% of all future profits. She's betting everything on this one move. Her God of Wealth talent is an SSS rank powerhouse that activates once her personal wealth crosses that 10 million gold mark. It's the ultimate merchant class. He realizes that if she tried to grind for that much gold on her own, it would take her lifetimes to reach it. He's her only shortcut. He asks one last time if she's serious about the contract. She stares him down, her resolve completely unshakable. They shake hands over the table, sealing the deal. A system prompt confirms that the soul contract is officially signed. The system notification spells out the brutal terms. He now owns 95% of her future wealth. Any violation of this contract means literal soul obliteration. He holds out his hand and transfers the 10 million gold coins without batting an eye. She stands there, ready to embrace the transformation. Golden light erupts around her as the class change begins. Rings of energy surge through the room, signaling the birth of a god of wealth. Once the light fades, he asks if she picked up any interesting new skills. She looks a bit overwhelmed by the sheer power she just unlocked. She shows off a passive skill called Money Shield, which gives her shield points based on every single gold coin in her backpack. It's the perfect defense for someone this rich. She also gained a profession-exclusive item, the God of Wealth's Ingot. It scales with her level and provides massive stat boosts to her health and mana. He observes the item, noting how its profession-exclusive nature is very similar to his own death scripture. It's clear she's now on a different level than other players. She points out that her fortune tree has suddenly exploded in size. The growth is massive, fueled by the influx of gold he provided. The tree glows with a brilliant golden light, its leaves practically shimmering with the promise of more wealth to come. She gleefully displays her haul of 680 soul coins and a rare advanced life soul stone. She's practically vibrating with excitement over the treasures. She hands the soul stone over, asking him to work his magic and upgrade it using his talent. She's eager to see just how far he can push it. He activates his promotion talent on the purple crystal. Energy arcs between his fingers as the item begins to evolve into something much more potent. The result is a life soul crystal, a rare treasure that increases the user's lifespan by a full century. It's a literal lifeline in a world where time is a currency. She lets out a shout of joy, completely floored by the 100-year increase. For her, this is more valuable than all the gold in the world. Suddenly, a global announcement interrupts them. The Myriad Worlds Game has officially launched, and all remaining players are being moved to their respective cities. The level leaderboard updates, showing White Knight sitting comfortably at the top at level 20. He's nearly double the level of the guy in second place. Players everywhere are freaking out as the protection period ends and the rankings go public. The gap between him and the rest of the world is massive. She hands him a sleek black VIP card for the East Sea City auction house. It's a token of her new position as his commercial agent. He tells her to go handle the auction house business while he heads off to turn in a hidden quest. He waves her off with a casual flick of his hand. He travels to the Yinchuan waterfall, a scenic spot where water cascades down a lush, green cliffside. It's a peaceful break from the city chaos. He finds his target, Huagian, standing by a waterfall and focused intently on an easel. The old man is deep in his artistic process. The painter looks over with a smug little smile, impressed that the kid managed to return so quickly. He clearly thinks highly of himself. He gestures toward his latest masterpiece, which looks like a 5-year-old's crayon drawing of the waterfall. He asks for a critique. He starts laughing and praises the work as an uncanny, perfect masterpiece. It's a bold-faced lie, but he knows exactly how to play this NPC to get what he wants. Chap 18. Huagian looks surprised as he observes Bai Yi. He mentions that he didn't realize the kid was actually a death sovereign since the Book of Death wasn't open during their last meeting. He proudly gestures toward his canvas and asks for an honest opinion on his painting. The landscape he's depicted is questionable at best. Bai Yi puts on his best acting face and bursts into laughter, praising the work's uncanny craftsmanship. He calls it the most perfect piece of art in history to keep the NPC happy. Huagian is still reeling from the revelation of his guest's true identity. He asks for confirmation on whether the mission he assigned has finally been completed. Without a word, Baiyi presents a massive pile of 10,000 ancient gold coins. The treasure glows with a brilliant light as it spills out before the painter. Pleased with the haul, the old man tells him not to be a stranger if he ever finds more loot like this. They exchange a casual thumbs-up as they finalize their business. Huagian gathers a swirl of green energy into his palm, preparing a special reward for a job well done. He looks far more capable than his subpar painting skills would suggest. A system notification pops up, confirming the completion of the hidden mission. In return for the coins, Baiyi has been granted a temporary skill, shadow-chasing sword aura. He examines the new ability, which grants him legendary-grade combat power for a full minute. It's a literal trump card, though the system warns him not to unleash its destructive force inside a city. He stares at the glowing energy, realizing just how terrifyingly strong this eccentric painter must actually be. Having access to legendary-tier power is no small thing. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a sealed letter, ready to tackle his next objective. He knows exactly where he needs to go next. Huagian looks at the document and immediately guesses the plan. He asks if the young sovereign is truly intending to cross the national border right now. Baiyi looks up, asking if they're going to just head out immediately. The old man just gives him a look that says, obviously, clearly ready to get moving. Far away, people in the city stop and stare at a swirling green anomaly forming in the clear blue sky. They whisper about the possibility of someone actually attempting to cross the border. Back at the auction house, Wealthy World addresses her team with a confident smile. She tells them to focus on their work and trust that their leader is the one who will take them all to the top. The scene shifts to the sprawling flower fields of the Tianqi Kingdom as two silhouettes walk along a dirt path. They've successfully breached the boundary into new territory. Baiyi takes a deep breath and admires the lush scenery of the new country. Huagian just rolls his eyes, thinking the kid is getting overexcited about something that's really nothing special. A flurry of system alerts floods his vision, congratulating him on being the first player to cross a border. However, the mood shifts as he's officially branded an invader, making him a target for every local faction. He scans the notifications, realizing he's essentially walked into a hornet's nest. The Tianqi Kingdom clearly doesn't have a welcome mat out for foreign sovereigns. The painter waves a hand and says he still has his own errands to run, leaving the kid to fend for himself. He vanishes in a flash of green light, leaving a trail of energy behind. Left alone in hostile territory, he decides to just wander around for a bit. Since he can't enter the main city as an invader, he'll have to find his own fun in the wilderness. He suddenly stops and looks over his shoulder, sensing a presence nearby. Something is watching him from the shadows of the forest. A massive darkwing demonic vulture screams as it dives from the sky, its talons extended for a kill. The system doesn't even show its level, indicating a dangerous foe. The beast slams into the earth with a violent crash, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and debris where he was standing just a second ago. He slides back into a combat stance, ready to fight. He calls out for his frost dragon to emerge and deal with this oversized bird. A portal of blue flames opens up as his massive bone dragon descends from above. It roars a challenge, its icy aura chilling the surrounding air. The vulture isn't intimidated and fires twin beams of purple energy from its eyes. The air sizzles as the projectiles streak toward his summon. The frost dragon meets the attack head-on, unleashing a freezing breath that counters the purple beams. The two elemental forces collide in midair. A blinding white explosion erupts as the attacks cancel each other out. The sheer force of the impact shakes the very ground beneath them. The vulture lets out a pained screech, its massive wings beating against the air as it struggles to stay airborne after the clash. He points his hand toward the sky, ordering his dragon to fully charge up its next attack. He isn't interested in a long, drawn-out battle. The two flying behemoths collide again, their massive forms silhouetted against a purple-tinged sky. It's a brutal struggle for aerial dominance. The vulture slashes downward with its glowing purple claws, leaving jagged energy trails in its wake as it tries to tear the bone dragon apart. Just as the energy slashes were about to strike, Bai instantly summoned a portal, making both his massive pet and himself vanish in a split second. He looks back at the vulture and sees it completely bewildered, frantically searching for its target. Through this use, he realizes that the upgraded Death Domain Leap allows him to cover massive distances if the situation ever becomes too intense. That recent miss only made the vulture even more aggressive, its red eyes glowing with feral rage as it prepares for another strike. A confident smirk plays across his lips as he decides it's time to give the monster a little surprise. He begins to channel his mana into a new summoning circle. Multiple dark portals open high in the sky, and giant skeletal warriors begin to rain down like meteors. They fall with a sense of grim inevitability. The vulture is caught completely off guard as the skeletons smash into it mid-flight. The sheer weight and numbers are enough to drag the beast toward the earth. With the monster pinned, he hops onto the back of his dragon and decides he's done playing around. They bank away, leaving the vulture to deal with his ground forces. Deep in the suburbs of Huagian City, a group of armed men stops by the riverside. They're searching for the white knight they heard about in the announcements, eager for a fight. They boast about their strength, promising to show this foreign invader exactly what the Tianqi regiment is capable of. They have no idea what's coming for them. Bai smirks, his gaze cold as he looks down at the group of players. He dismissively calls them trash and decides to let his little brothers handle them first. 3 massive, armor-clad skeletal warriors plummet from the sky, landing heavily in the midst of the startled Tianqi regiment members. The players reel back, shocked by the sudden appearance of multiple elite bosses in the suburbs. One of the skeletons raises a glowing blue blade high above its head, its hollow eyes burning with spectral fire. Dark energy swirls around its form as it prepares to strike. With a brutal downward swing, the skeleton's blade cleaves through a player, the impact so violent it's censored by a jagged red danger seal. The surrounding players can only watch in horror as their comrade is instantly overwhelmed. Despite the carnage, some players are still blinded by greed, shouting about the massive bounty on White Knight's head. They frantically ask for his description, desperate to be the one to claim the prize. Amidst the chaos, an older man in a blue vest and spectacles stands calmly, watching the lopsided battle. A player reports to him that 3 huge skeleton warriors attacked, and they aren't sure if it was White Knight himself. The older man with glasses adjusts his spectacles, acknowledging that anyone capable of a one-hit kill is certainly not weak. He instructs his subordinate to notify nearby players and bring them back to confront the intruder together. He watches the battle with a calculating gaze, his eyes sharp behind his lenses. He thinks to himself that rushing in recklessly is a fool's errand. He'll wait for the crowd to do the work and then aim for the killing blow. High up in the branches of a nearby tree, Bai leans back comfortably, watching the scene unfold below. He mutters to himself that he wouldn't have waited so long if his current strength hadn't forbidden him from entering the city directly. The skeletal warriors stand their ground, their glowing armor a stark contrast to the shadows of the forest. They face down a growing mob of players who are shouting challenges, demanding that White Knight stop hiding and fight like a man. The players are thrown into a panic as the skeletons move with unexpected speed and precision. They cry out in confusion, unable to even see how the monsters are attacking them. Bai watches a system notification appear in the corner of his vision, confirming another kill and a deduction of experience for the victim. He smirks, deciding it's time to play with them properly. He leans forward, his red eyes glowing with a malevolent light as he prepares to escalate the conflict. He tells his little brothers to play harder, wanting the players to truly experience the despair of his power. The lead skeletal warrior looms over the terrified players, its massive frame radiating an aura of death. It prepares to unleash another devastating attack on the cowering group. A chaotic melee erupts as the players try to mount a desperate counterattack, charging forward with swords and spells. They scream for everyone to kill the intruder together, but their efforts seem futile against the undead giants. A skeletal warrior swings its greatsword in a wide arc, the blade trailing blue energy that carves through the air. The force of the blow sends players flying like ragdolls. A series of bright flashes illuminate the dark forest as the skeleton's attacks land with explosive force. The air is filled with the screams of players begging for help. One player stares at his hands in disbelief, realizing he's still alive after the assault. The group begins to think the skeletons aren't as formidable as they first appeared, and they rally for another charge. A player swings his twin blades at a skeleton's arm, but they simply bounce off the hard, glowing bone with a sharp metallic clang. He cries out in frustration, unable to even leave a scratch on the summon. From his vantage point, Bai watches the clumsy fighting with a look of pure boredom. He notes that the trash has even started infighting in the middle of the battle, and he wonders when the national war will finally open so he can have a real massacre. The players' spirits lift as they spot a new group approaching from the distance. They cheer, believing the city guard has finally arrived to save them from the invader. A troop of elite knights on horseback thunders into the clearing, their armor gleaming and blue capes fluttering. They point their lances toward the forest, loudly commanding the invader to stop. Bai just smirks at the new arrivals, his expression one of amused curiosity. He wonders if these city guards are actually strong and decides he might as well give them a try. Without hesitation, the lead knight spurs his horse into a full gallop, his sword leveled straight at the skeletal warrior. He shouts a command for his brothers to charge, leading the assault with unwavering resolve. The knight's sword strikes true, shattering the skeletal warrior with a single, powerful blow. Fragments of bone and blue energy scatter into the air as the summon is instantly destroyed. Bai's smug expression vanishes, replaced by a look of genuine shock. He can't believe these native powerhouses are strong enough to one-shot his elite skeleton underlings. He reels back, sweat beading on his forehead as he realizes he's seriously underestimated the enemies in this world. He acknowledges that as a descender, who's only been here for 4 days, he's in over his head. Another armored knight charges toward him, his horse's hooves churning up the dirt. The soldier is focused entirely on his target, intent on bringing down the foreign invader. Bai looks up just as a sharp blade is thrust toward his face, the cold steel inches away. He realizes with a jolt that his hiding spot has been completely compromised. In a moment of desperation, he unleashes his signature move. Death Gaze! A massive, glowing eye erupts before him, and a terrifying damage number of over 40,000 points flashes as the nearest knight is vaporized. The overwhelming power of the Death Gaze blasts back the entire front line of the city guard. The knights and their horses are sent tumbling as the sheer force of the skill carves into their health bars. He catches his breath, a cold sweat running down his face as he realizes just how dangerous this situation has become. He decides he's had enough playtime and steps into a swirling blue portal, bidding the survivors a mocking goodbye. A lone knight stands among the ruins of the clearing, looking around in confusion. He grumbles to himself, wondering where the hell the invader disappeared to so suddenly. Bai steps out of the portal and finds himself in a completely different environment, the ruins of a modern city. He stares in shock at the skyscrapers and the numerous corpses littering the cracked asphalt, wondering what happened here. He peers through a jagged hole in a concrete wall, his expression one of wary curiosity. He's moved from a fantasy forest to a post-apocalyptic urban nightmare in an instant. A shrill, piercing screech echoes through the ruins, and a massive, two-headed bird with dark feathers and glowing red eyes descends from the sky. It lands heavily, its talons scraping against the debris. He watches the grotesque creature from the ground, his mind racing. He wonders if this monster is the one responsible for all the bodies he sees scattered around the area. The monster suddenly lunges toward him with surprising speed, its multiple heads snapping at the air. He barely manages to throw himself out of the way as a blast of energy erupts from a blue portal behind him. A massive wave of blue energy crashes through the street, adding to the chaos of the ruined cityscape. He's caught in the middle of a battle he doesn't fully understand. The two-headed vulture lets out another deafening roar, its wings beating against the air as it prepares for another attack. It seems completely focused on its prey. From above, more of the demonic birds appear, but these ones are being ridden by armored knights. They shout out a warning, identifying the creature as a dark-feathered demonic heron and calling for everyone to be on full alert. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Bai hides behind a gnarled tree at the edge of the ruins, watching as the knights engage the heron. He lets out a sigh of relief, glad that someone has finally drawn the monster's aggro so he can observe safely. A massive impact sends shockwaves through the air, signaling the start of a violent clash in the heart of the ruins. The force of the strike creates a brilliant flash that momentarily blinds those nearby. Mounted on their avian steeds, the knights of the city guard scramble to regroup as the battle turns against them. One of them shouts a desperate warning to their leader, urging him to call for immediate backup before they are overwhelmed. The captain's face is etched with disbelief as he grips his sword, sweat beading on his brow from the sheer pressure of the encounter. He looks at the escalating chaos, questioning who could have possibly triggered the seal again and released such power. From the shadows of the wreckage, Su Mubai watches the knights struggle with a calculating smirk. He decides that this massive mess is the perfect opportunity to see if his promotion skill works as effectively on monsters as it does on his own summons. On the ground below, Su Mubai stands out clearly against the gray ruins, immediately drawing the attention of the airborne guards. One of the knights points him out to the captain, his voice laced with confusion as he wonders what the mysterious invader is planning to do. Raising his hand, Su Mubai unleashes a surge of brilliant blue energy toward the dark feather demonic condor. He calls out his skill, promotion, as a target lock-on display appears over the screeching beast, sealing its fate. A blinding pillar of golden light shoots directly down at the monster as Bai tests his talent on the ownerless beast. The condor's form begins to shift and grow, its power expanding exponentially under the influence of the skill. Su Mubai looks on with a dark, satisfied glint in his eyes as the transformation takes hold. Beside him, the captain stammers in pure horror, realizing that the monster has not only leveled up but has evolved into a legendary grade boss. Paralyzed by the sight of the unfolding nightmare, the captain can only watch in silence as the creature's aura becomes stifling. The air grows heavy with the presence of a legendary predator that was never meant to walk this world. Confusion and fear ripple through the remaining guards as they struggle to understand the source of the monster's sudden growth. They frantically call for backup, realizing far too late that the situation has spiraled beyond their ability to contain it. The transformed monster now looms as a colossal, multi-headed shadow, its many eyes glowing with a malevolent red light. It towers over the knights, its sheer size and terrifying energy casting a literal and metaphorical shadow over the battlefield. Realizing the futility of their position, the captain orders an immediate retreat to save what's left of his squad. He acknowledges with gritted teeth that they are no match for the monster in its current, godlike state. A stray bird flees through the smoke-filled sky as a secondary explosion rocks the area, scattering debris into the wind. The sound of destruction echoes through the canyons of the ruined city. Another concussive blast punctuates the chaos, tearing through the air where the knights were positioned only moments before. The shockwave rattles the remaining structures, threatening to bring them all down. With a final, desperate cry, the captain commands his surviving men to lure the beast away to minimize further casualties. He screams for a rescue team at the top of his lungs, his voice full of the urgency of a man facing certain death.